definitely not FX. Whoever FX is, I don't know, but it's not me. With me on comms is Keaton, who's going to be doing all the explaining of the tough stuff while I'm focusing on actually executing the tricks. And I kind of just want to get right into it, but you can introduce yourself while I get the save file started, yeah? Yeah. So you also you run stuff, right? You don't just commentary, but also randomizers and all that. Fair enough, fair enough. All right, I think, yeah. Well, we'll just get right into it, I think. I'm just gonna do a quick countdown and then I'll just get going. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so as is tradition in speedruns, we're gonna show right away that gates and all that is just a suggestion, really. So, the way the game wants you to progress is you go get your horse and you ride into town, but we're just gonna skip all of that. We're going to pick up a rock. This rock is pretty nice. I think this one will do. And we're just going to try and clip through a gate. Yeah?
Yeah, luckily we're able to pretty much skip a major section at the beginning of the game due to the fact that they've kind of programmed gates in an awkward way where they swing back and forth, and we're kind of able to use this rock to clip right through it.
Bonk. So I'm going to go frame perfect immediately. That works. Oh,
perfect. So Twilight Princess is one of the unique games that has a trick known as back in time. This trick allows a player to play on the title screen, and back when it was first found, the person who was using it was much further in the game, and so when he saved on the title screen, it sent him back in time pretty much to a previous state of the game. But we use it right in the beginning, so we kind of get to go a bit more forward. We get to gain the hero sword already, and have the link and the hero's tunic already at the start of the game. So it allows us to skip major portions of the game and be in a bit of an awkward state.
So with that, we get to skip pretty much the entire intro sequence, minus one little detail, but we'll get to that. We're just going to go grab the lantern immediately and talk to Koro here. He's just going to give it to us for free. Nice guy.
And he's a real good guy.
Yeah. Honestly, back in time, by the way, missed opportunity to just call it Link to the Past, if you ask me.
Yeah, you know, some of these names are a bit outdated, but I mean, everyone calls it Bit now. After it's been solidified pretty much as being back in time for the rest of its life.
Everybody in the community says back in time, and everybody in my chat says Link to the Past.
It's called Back in Time, and not only this game, but we got Wind Waker, who also has it. No use for it. And then, of course, Skyward Sword that uses it extensively.
Yeah, Skyward Sword is the really big one, but it's even a big deal in this one. I'm going to use it more and more later on as well to wrong warp across the map. But that's
it has it is really interesting applications in Twilight Princess and how it affects. We use it less for, like in Skyward Sword, it's used for ping flags and triggers off of Skyloft. Right? Ours is used a bit uniquely because it puts us right in the state right during or right before the King Moblin fight, and we're able to abuse this for a couple extra reasons. And it helps us skip some pretty interesting sections, followed by, in this route specifically, allows us to skip some even kind of teleport around to unique sections of the game.
Yeah, because I'm actually, so there's several routes you can go with for Twilight Princess 80%, and I'm running a very unconventional one. So generally speaking, people collect bombs, but I don't actually do that. It's basically a consistency thing, and also I just think the route is cooler. So instead of bombs, I'm going to be collecting the Zora Armor, which is a tunic that lets me breathe underwater. And it's either that or the alternative is to collect water bombs, and water bombs will let you use a glitch that also lets you breathe underwater effectively.
Yeah, both are pretty much going to get the same. Going to get the same effect, but one is much more risky. Using bombs adds a lot more RNG to certain segments of the game, while this route also has its own RNG segments. We'll see that in a King Moblin fight, followed by other section of the game that now adds in, but it kind of balances out and leads to a bit of a safer make or break point of the run, where the other route pretty much can crumble and lose minutes upon minutes on a failure.
Alright, pretty solid cage break, I would say. You may have noticed I'm trying to precisely time rolls rather than just spamming. And the reason is that if you roll frame perfectly over and over, you actually gain speed as you go. And that's obviously a good thing. But yeah, it's frame perfect, and that makes it a little bit tricky, and actually a really big time save if you get really, really good at rolling.
Maintaining speed is also another feature of getting perfect rolls and chaining them. And when this game does have a momentum system, as we've said, you can gain speed by perfect rolling, but also when going uphill and things like that, if you drop a perfect roll, you lose a lot of your speed, and you aren't really able to gain it back. And so chaining them up these major hills and stuff like that can really keep your speed up and will make a huge difference. We saw FX got a 407 cage break, which with some of the strats he's doing is extremely good to start out here, and that's just based off of good rolling.
So now we're going to be herding some goats. This is the one thing from the introduction sequence we actually have to do. Everything else we can skip, but this is something that is required.
Isn't this also a weird version of it? Don't you usually only have to do 10 at the beginning of the game? Or do you have to do 22?
Yeah, so the very beginning of the game you do 10 usually. We skip ahead to doing the more advanced one, we have to do 20 with a timer. The timer's not really relevant because, well, we get 3 minutes and we do it in 20 seconds. But it's always good. So a side effect of doing back in time right at the beginning is that it sets some story flags, and we can just instantly go this way. This is not supposed to be possible. This door is usually locked, but because of the story flags we've set, we can just enter here. And the way the program's built this room is you can just interact with Bo, who's the mayor, and just execute a cutscene through mashing through his cutscene text. And even though the cutscene isn't playing, it will still progress as if the cutscene were there. And by doing this, we can actually get access to a much more middle game segment where we can collect the iron boots.
Yeah, is this the fight with the wrestling fight?
This is the wrestling, yeah, so I'm gonna...
Yep.
Okay, so... Sorry, you can go ahead now.
Well, I'm gonna need to know if we ended up doing the vote for... Oh, let's just hear what he has to say, there we go. For what move I'm gonna be using, or did we end up not doing that? I'm gonna be slapping him, I guess. Oh, good. Very good. Good RNG.
Alright, great RNG to start with.
That's perfect.
Good first round.
Yeah. So this is rock, paper, scissors, by the way, guys. This is completely RNG. There is no skill involved. The only skill is just mashing buttons quickly. And, yeah. So we're just gonna pick a random move here, and we'll see.
The mashing ends up being a pretty precise amount, and it helps get, as you see, he's really pushing Bo off this. You need a pretty good mash for this to work, and if you overmash, it fails, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like to one-hand mash for this because it's harder to overmash. But you can definitely go too fast, even with one hand. You will end up not being able to push him at all. But there we go, iron boots, like 7 minutes into the run. There we go. Good stuff.
Oh wow, that's a really good time. Starting out for iron boots.
Right,
Thank you, TP early game. We
need to save the game here. We need the save file for later. I didn't actually check what the time was for the boots. I don't know if you mind telling me.
Your boots was 7:27.
Oh, that's really,
pretty good.
That's like way below average for me in our no resets.
That's good for like even normal run settings at points. That's pretty good.
I would take that, yeah, for a PB run. I would take a 27. So good stuff, good stuff. Alright, so with the boots in hand, which you're definitely not supposed to have at this point, it's like a very middle game item, we're just going to be on our way. We're going to be abusing the fact that we have the boots already later on.
For this segment of the game, though, we're going to kind of be going back on track. We've skipped a lot of the intro, but we're about to enter into the first ever Twilight section, or right before the game kind of starts off with its whole gimmick of Wolf Link and all that. For a good amount of time, we're going to be watching pretty much the game be done normally. There isn't many glitches that we're going to be abusing, other than just good, clean movement, and a couple cutscene skips.
Yeah, so the story goes that after a pretty boring few days, it turns out a bunch of monsters come and abduct most of the kids and our love interest as well. And we're we find ourselves in a strange place where we've turned into a wolf all of a sudden, and we need to figure out what happened. 5, 6. No, that was way too. Completely miscounted that. Either way, we find Midna is here. Midna is a creature from the Twilight as well, and she appears to be willing to help us out. We're not sure why.
I mean,
but yeah, maybe you wanna
going through this section of the game. We're also Midna comes to us in a quite unique way. One of the more sarcastic partners we ever get in Zelda. Mostly, you usually get partners who are pretty devoted to helping Link, other than I guess in Tattle's case. This one's a bit more selfish in what she wants and less about caring about your kind of state of being.
Yeah, she has her own plans and designs for sure. She's not really here to help us more than she's here to help herself, and she just sees us as a pawn to use, basically. And we don't really have a choice. We're stuck here either way. We might as well go along with what she's saying, right?
Yeah, you literally get knocked out and you wake up as a wolf. What are you supposed to do? Like, life's changed dramatically. Start listening to the whole imp, you know?
Might as well listen to the one person who seems to be on your side. So this is basically a tutorial for the wolf. Link teaches you the mechanics of swimming, and you can jump attack these rings to drag them down and open some gates. Doesn't really come into play because we're going to skip all of that with glitches later, but it still explains it to you, of course.
It's nice to get a kind of this mini tutorial, and in terms of speedrunning side, we use this to kind of practice a bit of our normal movement like dash canceling and hopping in the cutscenes as we just saw him there, getting a bit further ahead before he skips a cutscene. It's very good movement that can really make the difference between good and okay times. He's going to be going for a cutscene skip right up here, where he needs to jump at the first ledge in a pretty unique way, and he gets it.
I also text displaced Midna's cutscene earlier, which is a pretty new minor time save of like half a second, where you can interact with a character that has a cutscene from further away than the cutscene trigger, and it will be able to advance the text further into the cutscene. And normally, for that one, there's a little pause in the text as the cutscene plays, but if you play the first line by talking to her from far away, you can skip that little break in the cutscene. So, there are some frame-perfect jumps here as well, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get any. Ah, there you go.
Oh, you already got one. So, after Minna's done some text where there's a bit of a cutscene there, she's going to try and move over to the area. Good cutscene skip again for the outside of Hyrule Castle out here. When she's moving, you're pretty much able to get a 1 frame to start the jump already. And if you're able to, you can skip watching her fly over. It is a decent time save, and it's not truly RNG, but it's nothing you reset over. You get some, you miss some. There's going to be another one coming up here that we hope for.
Yeah, they're like a second of time save every time you get one, and they add up, obviously, but you just mash for them. Some people try to time them, but I've never had much success with that.
They're pretty brutal to time.
Yeah, the only ones I try to time are the ones that come out of cutscenes immediately, because you just get the first frame of the cutscene, like this. But other than that... Alright. So, up next is one of the main run-ending tricks when you're on PB paces.
We're about to see one of the biggest tricks in speedrunning. For Twilight Princess specifically, this is a make-or-break-it trick for a lot of new runners. Most runs are going to be using this trick known as Sword and Shield skip. We already have the Sword and Shield, as you can see, and the game is in a state where we cannot go actually get the real Sword and Shield. The game is soft locked, so we can go that way. We're going to need to use a trick that we'll explain more later on. But basically it's known as a long jump attack, where we're able to extend our jump attack based on if certain requirements are met. This one's specifically going to be known as an enemy LJA. And we're going to bring over this little bokoblin, Hugo.
Hugo, come on.
Could be a little annoying to keep his attention. He sometimes likes to, pick some flowers, do whatever he feels like.
Yeah, sometimes he's allowed, sometimes he's just awful.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got worst RNG. It was the furthest away he could be. A little brutal.
So I'm going to try to push him into a very specific spot and then try to do a double jump attack to get into the next area, because we're not supposed to be able to go into Fire and Twilight, but we can try and jump attack over the trigger that was supposed to block us. And
we're gonna jump over a 1 minute trigger that stops us into the cutscene trigger that will take us in by using him. we're gonna see him do this little dance with Hugo where he's gonna try and push him in. He's being a little bit of a butt here, not really letting you move him at all.
Alright, that's fine.
He's in pretty okay-ish position.
No, I don't like that. I'm just gonna play it safer. There we go.
And nice, very good stuff.
Yeah, that is a deceptively precise jump attack. The triggers are really far away, so even if it looks like you got very close, you might just be off by quite a bit. But that worked out. I'll take it.
It's a frame precise trick that changes based on an enemy.
Based
it
on where
is
he
quite
is.
difficult to get down.
And it also
There's
changes
multiple
based
ways
on
to
your
do it.
back hop and all that. Your angles, everything matters there. But I got a really good jump attack on the second one.
That has a very good enter on, just period.
It's supposed to be like a
level
14, right?
Yeah, it was around I think 14, 20 something.
Yeah,
so
that's great. I'll take it.
I mean, yeah, oh yeah, I'd take it.
We're not gonna be focusing too much on the
donation.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Jump on right in.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I've got $50 here from Sunseeker Deluxe with no comment, but thank you very much for that. I also have a $100 donation from Anonymous saying simply S2, but thank you for that. I also have another $50 donation from an Anonymous with no donation. Thank you very much. And then finally a $100 donation from N. Bickford saying, first time watcher, let's beat Alzheimer's.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
thank you
beat
very
Alzheimer's.
much for all of that.
Dude, thank you so much for the donations, everybody.
Thank you everyone for the amazing donation.
It's such a good cause. Alright, so this is the first big difference in my route versus the more popular one. Most people do not pick up this item, but I'm gonna go clear this Twilight with a very specific reason, because I need to clear it so that I can wrong warp later. The wrong warp is based on map IDs, and I need to change the map ID from Twilight to regular to be able to wrong warp. So that's why we're going to be clearing that.
A good way to look at it is these maps are kind of done in a different layer when they're under Twilight. They have certain conditions that need to be met in order for them to be into a different layer. Wow, I didn't know that. That Scarecrow really wants you.
The Scarecrow is always there, man. Watching. Alright.
But we need this layer, Pharaon, to be in a different state in order for things to work. We need it to be different to get what we need from it. There will be different instances, and actually, in a technical way, a lot of our routes are shaped around some of these exact reasons and conditions that need to be met in order for these states to work.
Yeah, so I tried to skip that second cutscene with the spirit, talking about what happened to the bugs, but I mistimed it slightly. You can turn off your senses basically as you jump at the bugs. Oh, free money, I guess. I'll take it.
You know, that's just a pretty random drop there, huh?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's actually bad RNG. I don't need that money, but I'll take it. It's fine. It's just safety. Yeah. Safety. Let's just call it that. Rather than safety.
A lot of the other routes are pretty demanding on the kind of money that you need to be getting, and you have cool things you can do depending on how much money you get. This route gets a lot of money. This one gets a lot more money than the other one. That's kind of in way money. So money you're able to go for the losing any time.
Nice. So I'm leaving these tiers behind, and that's because this isn't the only time I'm going to go through this area. We're actually going to sequence break out of this region entirely, and then come back later. And the tiers are still going to be there, so for the ones that I'm going to be coming through again, you just leave them behind. These I do need, because we don't want to do this again. Oh, okay, sure. Interesting. Thanks, Midna. That's actually never happened before. Holy crap. Alright.
Actually, you don't get as far back as I thought you would.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
I thought he was going to set you back to the start of the load zone, but
no.
Hey, that's not as bad as I thought.
It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, luckily he's able to kind of leave these tiers behind and not have to care. You'll be picking them up on the second round he's coming through.
So up next is the biggest sequence break in the run. We're going to be getting to the Master Sword early. We're going to use a super jump, which is when we abuse the midnight charge circle to get a ton of speed and height to jump out of bounds, and we'll just head to a very late game area. Let's see.
This is the bread and butter of TP speedrunning. He's gonna be taking this enemy over here and trying to get into a little good position. Unfortunately, was that wrong swing there?
No, I have him in the wrong position. I need to reposition him. Gonna have to move over here, get him to. There we go. Come on, swing. There you go. Okay.
He's gonna be getting him over here into this good position. His hand's gonna be slightly in the wall. He's gonna be using him to super jump up.
Come on.
Just barely a bit off.
I'm gonna just reposition him again, just be safe. Yeah, this is a pretty precise one. Let's just try again. There we go. And I'm biting him to make him attack faster here. There we go.
All right, good stuff.
So it goes real fast, but yeah, the positioning is quite precise for that. So
And
as I mentioned,
doing this allows us.
Oh yeah.
We're going to be able to jump straight into the Sacred Grove, which is pretty much the section of the game where casually I think you'd hit this around like, what, 7-hour mark? You need to do a lot of the game in order to get here.
This introduces, in the speedrun, it introduces howling to us. Normally you would have done this plenty of times over, but yeah, you can howl in this game to activate certain sequences.
It's pretty interesting. Most of the other Zelda games use instruments. This one chose wolf howling out of anything I could have done.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's just unique.
I like it. It's a pretty good twist from everything that we've done. We went from ocarina to ocarina plus other instruments, and then we went from conducting to wolf howling. I don't know. It was a good turn.
So we're gonna chase the Skull Kid down. He's just playing. He's not like for real, like trying to mess with us. He's just having some fun. He's not seen anyone in a long time. He's been waiting for us basically, and with that, he just wants to have some fun before he actually shows us where the Master Sword is.
Can I jump in with something else now?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
I've actually got a couple donations here. $10 from Matt Blade saying finally chipping in some emeralds for here for a good cause. These shiny little things are emeralds, right? And then we also have $100 from Gilthrin. And both of those donations are going toward the Super Mario Kart crowd control. But I also wanted to take this time to say that we have hit 65K.
Yo, let's
with
go,
those last
guys.
2 donations. Yeah.
Yo, that's so hype.
So that's awesome.
That's an
We're
amazing
at
goal to hit.
$510. Indeed. And if we can get this crowd control run to be done as well, that's an extra 10K. I think we can do it. I think we need to do it.
I mean, I want to see that. You want to see that as well, right? Like crowd control.
That sounds like a pretty fun. That sounds really fun. Crowd control is amazing to watch. It is a unique way to have people interact with content that's coming on.
Yeah, I mean, thanks so much for all those donations. Keep them coming, guys. We have about 3 hours. We're getting you through the night, basically. Well, let me just quickly run into a tree. We're just gonna get you through the night, but as we do that, please help us out as well, and just, you know, if you can miss it, just donate a little bit. Help out. Yo, I just bonked again. I forgot to mention at the beginning, I'm actually gonna do $3 per bonk. So at the very beginning, we bonked into the gate to get through, and I just bonked again, so we're at 2. And if we bonk more and more, I'll just keep saying bonk, and I'll just keep adding $3 more. So here we need to
Do you want me to try and keep track of it?
Yeah, if you can tally it, awesome. So we're just gonna wait for him every time to blow his horn. If he's not blowing the horn, he's actually gonna teleport away if we try to attack him. So what we need to do is we hit these guys, and as they die, a timer starts. We just need to wait around a little bit. I'm gonna pick up this rupee as I... No, never mind. No, okay. Cool.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that ledge absolutely destroyed you. Your ankles were broken.
Link was just not having it there. He was just really struggling getting up that little step, you know. It's tough, you know.
Hey man,
He
sometimes that
only
first step is the hardest one.
He only just learned how to be a wolf. That's just how it is. Gotta cut him some slack. All right, so here's the impossible casual puzzle. It's not a pause, it's a howl. All right. We're just gonna howl again to activate the puzzle. There we go. And let me see if I can remember this. So,
Oh man, as a kid, for anyone who played this game, this was a puzzle that literally took everyone like half an hour. This took me a long time.
this took me way more than half an hour, man. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I tried for like 2 hours, and then I had to go to the wiki and find out what solution actually was, because... And there's actually many solutions, but we're going to use the most optimal one, where we should use the least amount of turns, so we can just jump in straight lines over and over. And makes it a little bit quicker. It doesn't matter that much, but there are some funny solutions you can do. Maybe I should have learned one of those, but next time. Alright, and just like that, we are on our way to the Master Sword, which we are supposed to only get about halfway through the run normally. And it's going to allow us to completely break the early game effectively. Alright, there we go.
This is pretty much the part of the run where most people think, wow, TP looks like a pretty cool game to run, which it 100% is. We're going to see a mixture of movement between human and wolf link throughout the rest of this run. And casually, you will never get this experience this early. We will see tons of elements in the early game that are changed up due to this.
Yeah, the really cool thing about this run is the mix between like very precise tricks versus just having good general movement. The execution, both like the focus on game-breaking glitches is actually more so front-loaded, and then as we go on and on throughout the game, it becomes less of a focus on those glitches, and it more comes to just good movement, which is very interesting because it gives you this really nice spread of gameplay rather than just the same thing for 3 hours. It really just gives you a range, which is really cool. What really drew me into it.
Even going into the time that FX just got right now, for newer runners and stuff, some of us think that if we get every trick perfect, we still won't even get this kind of time. The movement matters so much in this game. You can truly see a difference between someone who's played this game for 1,000 hours and someone who's only played it for 100. It's a major changes due to movement.
Yeah, the really big time save, because even when I was starting out as well, it's like, wow, I just got to get these tricks. The tricks save so much time, but the real time save is much later on. Like if by just getting better at the game in general, like just general good movement will save so much time compared to getting this tricks first try. It really.
Yeah, man. Cage break is a great way to show that. FX doing a trick that loses, I can't remember, like it's like at least +7 or something like that. Going to the other side of the bridge and doing it there over what we do in any percent, and he's still getting a low four time, right? When you start out, you're probably going to be hitting like 420s around there.
Yeah. So to reference the trick he's talking about at the very beginning, where I rolled across the bridge, there's a faster way of doing the back in time at the beginning, which saves like 6 seconds. But it's much more risky. You'd basically only do that if you're allowed to spam resets, which we're not a fan of here.
You pretty much get to hit the reset button every single time you miss it.
Oh, I have thousands of resets to that. It's just not worth it. I decided like when I came back to this, it just isn't worth it. All right, so now
in tournament settings and stuff like that, we rarely use the other one. We use the one that we saw FX do quite often. As you see here, he's going to be collecting all those tears they left behind, skipping having to wait for them to all die, which in some of the other sections you're going to watch us wait or do other filler stuff while waiting for them to fully die.
Yeah, primarily rupee collection later on, because right now we don't need that much money, but as the run goes on, we're going to have to start ramping up our rupee collection, because we do need to eventually end up at 300, and you're going to like we have 14 right now, so well, we're far off, but as we get closer and closer to where we need the money, we'll actually start ramping up that collection. So we're going to
we have a debt to pay to a clown, man. What a weird way to go.
So we're gonna do some fun stuff here. Gonna run up into the fog, and it looks like we're cheating, and we kind of are. I'm gonna do some safety stuff here. There we go.
Usually in the game we're gonna be wolf here, and so, or not that we're gonna be wolf. We're not supposed to be in here as human. That's something that the game was never intended to do. He's also gonna go pick up that 10 ruby behind there and skip his text box with a
free green
place jump attack. Yeah, that was pretty nice. This, essentially, the game doesn't know how to hit us because we're human in Twilight, and so we skip having a monkey steal our lantern because we're not on that layer where the monkey would be able to do that. Allows us to kind of just do it ourselves. This time we kill the Shadow Beast. We don't need him to do any super jumps. There is a super jump you can do, which saves like micro amounts of time to get over that fence too. Again.
I've tried. It's not worth it.
It's pretty bad.
That is just pass only. If you get it, props to you, honestly. Put a video in the freaking
It's
Discord.
like what?
I'll bow down.
2 seconds, right?
it just doesn't save anything really.
It's micro amounts of time, I thought.
It's basically if you do it instantly with task precision, you save a few seconds at best. It's yeah, no. All right, we're gonna do another frame perfect right here. We're gonna jump out of bounds and do another back in time, but in a little bit of a different way. Okay, good.
Nice, perfect. First try.
I'm gonna have to save this one actually. Yeah, I just had to think for a moment because I had a safety save there. There we go. Oh, I made it look easy, but that is fairly precise on the angle. If you get a bad angle, you just don't get to jump out of bounds at all. Yeah, this no, not that one. Hang on. Don't want to hard lock the game.
Yep. So the file that he saved over at Bo's house, the mayor, we're using that right now because that's one of the files that's actually compatible with us entering into it from the title screen. It's going to take us into the King Boblin fight, which we're going to start, and then we're going to pretty much reset the game again. Why this works is, funnily enough, how the triggers work for TP and its boss fights. It's a... I'm trying to remember exactly. A good way to explain this. Basically, we get an artificial number that ramps up while we're going out throughout the dungeon for it to play cutscenes and other stuff like that. We just spiked it by entering a literal fight that we're in and then resetting with that number still up. And we're going to use that.
Yeah, the game doesn't check to clear the memory value that we gained from the King Boblin fight, so we just reset out of the fight. And yeah, I'm gonna try the skip actually. This seems fine.
Oh, are you gonna skip Nancy?
She's nice. No, please be nice to me, Nancy.
Yeah,
Nancy, come on. I went for it. So this can save time if she's nice to you. It looks like this is working out. Cool.
Yeah, she's good now. You probably broke a little bit under, maybe even. That's not too bad.
If you get it, like, if she's really nice to you, it's like 7 seconds.
Sometimes she doesn't even look at you. You can just go straight up, and that's the ideal setting, is you're just able to go up.
All right, we're just gonna activate this little bridge here. And now, because of that memory value we corrupted, all the monkeys are suddenly here.
Monkey spawn.
Suddenly monkey.
We have become monkey.
And let's just skip right ahead to the mini boss of this dungeon, and more importantly, the dungeon's item. And this is the main item we actually want in this speedrun. It makes this run essentially.
This run, as we saw with the enemy LJA, we're gonna have a much more fun and much more controllable way to kind of recreate what we did with Hugo. Also, we have one of the best songs in the whole entire game that we're only gonna hear for a short amount of time.
Yeah, so we're gonna fight this monkey who has a boomerang, and you might guess that that's what we're gonna be getting from him. Alright, okay, yeah, sure. This is RNG, by the way. He just jumps a random number of times. There we go.
Was that a good 7? Was that a 7 or an 8?
Can you jump attack? Link? Jump attack, please? There you go. Okay, then. Cool. Link didn't want to jump attack that time. That's okay. We'll just do another cycle. Why not? We get to hear the music for a bit longer. Hold on. There we go.
It will never make to the beat drop. It's unfortunate.
So we're going to be collecting the boomerang, we save warp out, and then we'll just be on our way. In the meantime, maybe we can throw it over to our host. Maybe he has some incentives to read out, or any other information for us?
Yeah. I've got a quick donation here. $25 from Grand Basis 1209 saying, love the marathon, keep it up ESA. I do also want to say that the Metal Gear Solid 2 Premium package, that prize, that will be closing at 6 in the morning there at ESA. So in just a couple hours there. That is a $30 minimum donation. If you donate $30 at all, you will automatically be entered to win that. And there's also a number of other prizes that you can win throughout the rest of the event as well. They're all over on the website. Check them out. All of your money's going to a great cause. And definitely throw some, if you do have a donation, put it towards the incentive for the Mario Kart run. Maybe. If you want.
That seems like a good idea. You want to see the crowd control Mario Kart, right?
Is pretty good. It sounds like a blast to watch.
Thanks so much for all the donations, guys. Keep
also, FX, do you want me to write down those bonks, the two that are used in that fight? There are mandatory bonks.
Note them down, sure. Tally them up.
Alright,
Let's go for it. Let's break all of Link's bones, by the way. There you go.
Ooh.
That must be painful. Yeah, so the game doesn't expect you to be human there, and it just uses wolfling skeleton for the animation.
Quite interesting. It's something you'd think most games would literally just crash on. TP somehow has power. Oh, does not skip a cutscene there?
Yep.
Backflipping or text. It's quite interesting. TP, like many other games where they would just crash or struggle to be able to work with how Link was programmed, it will just try and put him onto the Wolfling skeleton, and it looks like it's gonna crash, or it's really buggy. It works. So Epic's gonna be doing a trick here where he's gonna get pretty much right up on the line of a mid trigger here that would keep him from leaving unless he's beating the temple. And he's gonna do what we saw with Hugo, but with this boomerang. We're able to target the boomerang as it's being thrown. As long as we don't hit any other direction, it will automatically target after taking out our sword. And we're able to do that LJA that we did. How LJAs work is if the boomerang is over a void or in a situation where it is above ground above Link, we will have a much faster and rapidly accelerated version of the jump attack, which makes us go a lot further. We're gonna see a pretty amazing example of, oh, actually, no, we're not. We'll see that. We'll see examples of it in a little bit.
I love it, Keenan. So Keenan is referencing a different route there, where they use.
Yeah, my mind was like, oh, we have such a good example coming out. No, we don't.
Right, nah, we're not doing that one because it requires a frame perfect jump attack, and I don't want it.
A frame perfect jump that loses you a minute.
Yep.
Then you only get one chance.
That's all.
Or you reset the run. I guess you get infinite chances, you know, but.
Yeah, so we're going to be entering Elden Twilight now. We're going to go to the Elden Gorge, and we're only going here for one reason. We want map warping unlocked, which is a type of skill, basically, where instead of having to talk to Midnight every time to select warps and things like that, we can just open our map and use the map to select warp portals instead. And the only reason we want this is because we can actually use it to perform a glitch later on, which isn't going to come into play for a while. But...
Map warping, going to... Ironically, if we could skip it, it would be ideal. We have ways that we wouldn't, other than one specific scenario, where unless you can do 30 synchronized A/B presses in a row, frame perfect, then you're probably going to be losing a lot of time. So grabbing it here is pretty much going to simplify a lot of sections and genuinely make the run a lot easier. It's going to lead to really good...
I got it anyway, god damn it.
Okay, yeah, Gorge Void Frame. So we just heard Wolfling bark, which means you press B to it there. In the other route, you're going to hit A there to jump attack off. And that's pretty much going to get you the desired result of you don't get hit by this trigger and you're able to go do another trick Ruby roll, which FX doesn't need. He can just hit B for fun.
So my route doesn't do that, so I just press B for fun, like Keaton's saying. But yeah, every once in a while...
it's
when
swag
you really
void.
don't expect it, you just get it anyway. Okay, so because I backflipped earlier in this area, I need to be careful to not walk into the trigger. There we go. So there's still the cutscene trigger there from before that I backflipped out of. So I had to be a little bit careful and avoid it. Which was also frame perfect, mind you. So there's so much frame perfect stuff in this game that saves a little bit of time, which is very interesting.
Yeah, there's
We're just gonna do
a lot of small details. A lot of small details in this game that matter to adding up to a lot of time. This fair escape too, FX is going to make this look extremely easy. He's pretty much walking up very close to a trigger where like any slight hit him into the trigger, he's going to have to reset and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Doing very good fair escapes here. You've done very fast on both immediately.
Yeah, it's really easy when you clear the Twilight because the visual cue becomes super clear. If you do it with Twilight still active, it's a bit harder. Alright, so up next is another gate. We're gonna do another bonk, so that's gonna be fun. And
interesting enough, there used to be a really complex setup to get through this gate, and TP's time period, we found out it can kind of just be Wolflink and hop through it.
Yeah, so
it's really not that bad.
I'm just gonna clear these guys out real quick. Gonna have a quick look to the side. We'll just jump through. That was easy.
It looks like it wasn't even there.
Yeah, there's no gate there. I know. Alright, up next is one of the final big sequence breaks for this run. Can we... Okay, thank you, game. We need to skip this cutscene.
Honestly, this is the final harder portions of this early game. This is usually where runners start to feel route. This is where you really feel comfortable. In this route, you still feel pretty comfortable after you get through this section. This trick is another one of those gating ones for a lot of newer people in the community. It's known as pillar clip. We're going to be clipping into Lakebed Temple really early. We got those iron boots pretty early. Well, we're going to make good use of them.
Yeah, this is where we get them into play. I'm gonna use a precise visual here to know when I need to start diving with the boots. So you may notice my air meter, and we're gonna be pretty close to drowning, but we should be able to make it. So let's have a quick look here.
Clipping into this pillar isn't...
That's early.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna
The
drown.
clipping this pillar is... Yeah, unfortunate, but clipping this pillar isn't one-to-one, like there's only a couple of things that work. It is very much... It changes a bunch. You have to get a feel for it and slowly get into it. And even some of our best friends in the community, will take a drown every now and then.
It happens. It's It's fairly precise.
You could have 2,000 hours in this game, and I'm still gonna watch you every now and then. It's unfortunate, but it is a pretty rough trick to always get down perfect.
This used to be my bane when I was pretty new to the game. I just couldn't do this, but I've gone.
No man, it took me I think 6 hours to get it my first time.
Can I jump in with a quick donation?
Just a moment.
Yep.
I need to do this.
Okay.
I want to focus for it. Okay, good. We should be good now. Go ahead with the reading. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
I just want to say, I've got $200 here from I've Got Hollywood saying, "This is for you, Grandma Mary and Uncle Brad. Love to the runners and staff at ESA for making this possible. Let's beat Alzheimer's." With a very sweet comment and a huge donation for $200. Thank you.
Insane, guys. That is so much money. Thank you so much. It really means the world.
Thank you. Every amount matters. Well, any donations and everything. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, that chew was out for me. Was really hoping.
Yeah, that chew really wanted you. Also, I'm pretty sure for that second pillar clip you did, I'm pretty minimalist, unironically. If you caught it, that was extremely good setup that you had there.
So, Lakebed is a mid-game dungeon. You're supposed to have a bunch of items already, but we can try and get around all of that. That's not going to work.
It's supposed to... This room is meant to pretty much be an area where you're supposed to release the bomb arrows to knock down all these pillars and all that. FX is never going to get bombs. He's never going to see the item in this game. He's not going to see arrows either, so he's not getting either of those items.
So yeah, we're going to have to make do with just our trusty boomerang. And we're going to do a bunch of setups here that will get us to go through this dungeon without needing those items. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, the boomerang tried, but yeah. So
Nice.
the boomerang took 3 targets in one go there. It's supposed to only take 1, but sometimes it just takes more. And I used to only do 2 targets for that. Then it started failing on me, so I just started doing 4 just to be extra safe, and it still almost fails from time to time.
As we were saying beforehand, with the Fair and Escapes and stuff like that, this is the major trick known as the LJA that we're talking about. As you saw there, he was able to massive amounts of distance and with huge amounts of speed with his jump attack. And it's just because the boomerang was placed on... The first one's on top of the chandelier, so it's much higher than you. And the next one's above a head, like the head section of the staircase there. And that early boss fights we got all the way back still applies and allows us to walk into the exit of this room and immediately look up and start the boss fight.
Yeah, the same way we got the monkeys, that also applies to how they coded this boss fight. So it just thinks we're already in the room, so we can just look up and activate the boss. Alright, we can one cycle this free. There we go.
Nice. So in this game, a lot of times for enemies to transition over, Link must complete his combo, and then bosses will go out of their little stun state. For us speedrunners, we're going to continuously hit them and never finish the combo. So we're going to do patterns of 1, 2, or some people do 1, 2, 3 patterns, and we're going to continuously do that until they die. As we just saw there with FX, where he only needed to get 10 hits off. Most of the combos in this game are only going to be 4 hits, and uniquely enough, we'll have a boss fight later that only counts the no hit of a combo.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, what was I gonna say? Right, so we're save warping, but we have a bit of a problem because we still don't have the Zora Armor, which we need to breathe underwater, so we have no way to leave Lakebed. So we need to get around that.
How do we get out?
So we're gonna.
Stuck.
Luckily, the designers decided on having a sort of NPC in the game that lets you take a break from a dungeon. Ah, whoops. And we're gonna go collect that NPC now, so that we can just leave that way. It's gonna put us.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, I think this is the first instance in a game where they pretty much gave you an option to just kind of leave the dungeon, and pretty early. I'm trying to think. Yeah, pretty much leave the dungeon and get to come back whenever you feel like it, very easily.
Hello, Uko.
Our blessed Uko. You can see even Link's a bit confused by what he's picking up right now.
All right, so
is it time for another donation?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I just have $10 here from Gallus Ryan saying, "Good luck, FX. You're a great runner, and it's exciting to see you showing off Twilight Princess at ESA. It's always a treat getting to watch you run the game. Keep being awesome. My friends and me are watching me and cheering you on."
Thank you so much, Gala. Love you. Gala is amazing, by the way, guys. She's just awesome. Thank you so much for the 10, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Right, so actually we can use that NPC to just leave the dungeon. And the cool thing about it is it also lets us return later on to the same room that we just left from. So, which is good, because we do actually need to defeat the final boss in that dungeon at some point. But
also, shoutouts to this amazing little clown here who, surprisingly, a one-off character we'll never see in the Zelda franchise again, probably ever again. But he does gate off 3 entire major segments of the game in Twilight Princess. Interesting enough.
Fire is certainly a man who just...
Yeah, he's a man we must love and hate.
He likes money, I guess. What can you say? There we go.
A rich little clown. FX is going to be setting up a trick here where he's pretty much, we're going to bait this Kakrika over into the water, and we're going to drown those little rider on top of him. This is going to allow us to skip the second part of the fight and having to watch a cutscene. We'd have to kill the guy ourselves. If Link gets grabbed here, we crash.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty bad. It is a hard crash to the console. You have to hard reset everything and go back in. We just made it through. That's good to see. Now, right up after that, we're going to have another small trick. A lot of these ones that are coming up aren't going to be super big tricks, but they're going to be some decent mini times where he's going to be trying to clip out of bounds using the Kakrika.
So we're gonna just get up on this little thing here and up left. There we go. That one is surprisingly easy. So as opposed to many of the early game tricks that are deceptively difficult, this one is free. If you like these kind of weird tricks or glitches, just boot up your game and try it out. It really is just really easy.
It is oddly easy, but in weird scenarios, this is the easiest trick to just forget out of nowhere how to do it.
True. Yeah.
This one has popped out of my mind like 3 times. I'll get it 3 times in a row one day, the next day I'm just like, I can't remember what this is like.
I had a week once, like a few months back when I was actively grinding this, and I just couldn't do it. Just everyone died here.
It's so weird. It's the weirdest trick to have fail, but like, I don't know.
I'm going up here, by the way, a little bit for safety, because you can void out if you go too low, which I just don't want. So I'm just gonna go up for a little bit of safety and hit the loading zone far out of bounds.
Yeah, but how the loading zones work in this game, also for a little cutscene skip here again. Gets it, good stuff. But the loading zone's pretty much spread out, crazy wide. You can just hit into it. You don't actually have to go into that little section that it shows.
It's interesting, I actually was playing around with it the other day, and the loading zone doesn't extend infinitely, which is what I thought initially. It actually just stops after a while. You can actually go all the way around if you're really determined, and just fly around nowhere.
I mean, no game could probably handle infinitely, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's definitely going to be a cap. So they make them super huge to where it would be frustratingly hard to dodge them.
I was a bit worried there because the Keese was right in front of me, and sometimes when the Keese is that close, it will actually force Link to target the Keese rather than Midna, and you'll just jump attack into nothing. But it worked out. Alright, this is a one-off mechanic as well, where you just have to dodge some pillars of ice.
Yep. This is the only time in the game they really make you wait.
Yeah, it's
for that to fall.
So you may be wondering, why did I lose so much health? Because we're down to 1 HP, and it seemed like I intentionally lost health, and it's true. I did intentionally drop my health low, and it's because we want to do a death warp in a little bit. It's coming up just after this, and
this is going to be the big difference between this route and the other one. So the other one's going to do a trick known as, which we said was, as I said, the breed press after the bridge and all that. And that will get you the Kakariko. FX is going to be doing a much more interesting way, which I'll let him explain.
Yeah, so we're gonna... so because we cleared Twilight, actually, first of all, we can actually go here to the entrance to the first temple, and there will be a golden wolf here. And the golden wolf teaches us hidden skills, and we do actually need one of them. And luckily enough, they're always in order, so no matter which one you get, it will always teach you the first skill. And the first skill is Ending Blow, and we actually need it. Like, there's no way around it. You have to have it, otherwise you cannot defeat Ganondorf at the end. So it's very convenient that when you clear Farron, you also get access to this golden wolf, which saves a lot of time over the way the other route has to do it.
Yeah, we will get teleported back here. We have to inconveniently get another Howling Stone and go out of our way to go get the wolf too. Interestingly enough, too, most of the boss fights in this game will give you no matter what. Many of them will give you Ending Blow. I think it's most of the ones that are considered giant monsters are a bit different. They'll give you a cutscene version of Ending Blow for their final hit. Ganondorf is one of the few and only things that doesn't. And if you don't have Ending Blow, you cannot kill him.
Damn. I actually did the swag strat there, doing a spin attack, which saves like frames over doing a jump attack. But then I missed the actual jump attack afterwards.
You missed the actual jump. It happens.
Happens to the best of us. Alright. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing a death warp. And from the death warp, we're going to do a wrong warp to get to Kakariko. So we're going to chain a bunch of unintended mechanics to get to where we want to be. As is traditional for speedrunning, of course. But the way we're going to do it is I'm just going to go over here, and we're just going to game over. Just like that. We'll get the nice boomerang sound in the background if you enjoy that. Just keeps on whirling. And then we'll spawn back in South Farron, and we'll do another frame perfect to wrong warp to Kakariko. So, I'm gonna try the fast strat once, and if I fail, I'll do the safe one. Cool, that works.
Nice.
So this is the same bridge at the very beginning. We just use a different way of using Back in Time. And from Back in Time, we're gonna, again, spawn into the King Boblin fight. But this time we're actually gonna fight him instead. Because the way they coded the King Boblin fight is that at the end of the fight, you actually get forced to spawn in Kakrika Village. And that's where we want to be. So we're just gonna go fight this boss and end up at where we want to be anyway. So
yeah, conveniently enough, this is pretty much gonna end us right where we need to be for the rest of the to continue the rest of the run, while continuing from the file that we had. FX is going to be using a very specific way of trying to fight him and reduce the amount of RNG that there is. That was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I dashed once too early, so it was a little bit awkward, but it worked out. We had good RNG.
But
so now we're going to joust.
Yeah,
but, I know everybody knows how jousting works, right? You just run up like this, and then you just turn around. And you just do it like that, right? That's how jousting works, I think. I don't know if anybody can elaborate. I think that's how it goes.
You know, I haven't been to a Renaissance fair, but I'm thinking I might try this out.
Yeah, I'm sure
Give me the upper edge.
Yeah.
Me getting kicked out and banned from the Renaissance fair.
Easy win. All right. So now we're in Kakrika Village. You can see it's a bit of a weird... Actually, I'll just do a quick circle. You can see it's a bit of a weird state. It's a mixed state, actually. The game isn't quite sure what's going on. So we just have to quickly reload the room to make sure that the game understands that we're actually in the Twilight version of the village.
Yeah, the reason why we get put into the state is pretty much going out of the KB fight supposed to spawn you in Kakariko without Twilight, but we haven't cleared the Twilight. We haven't done that yet. So the game is going to be. It's surprising how much Twilight can overwrite so much of this game, and how these weird states do exist. Because in the other route, we never complete fair on Twilight, and even the credits in on sections with fair on Twilight. That strong.
So the story goes that Midnight is looking for these sort of items of power, the forged shadows, and we have to help her find them. We're not actually doing that in Speedrun, but that's the story. And this is the second region where one of these forged shadows resides. So the way to do it is we need to first cleanse Twilight from the realm. And we never actually touched on what Twilight is. It's essentially, how I like to think of it, is like an alternate dimension that's trying to engulf Hyrule, and we have to try and save it, try and push it back. So the way we do it is by returning the power of light to the spirits that hold it normally. And we're just gonna do it in our own glitchy way, of course, because we're just gonna jump straight through that valve or lid, if you want to call it. There's a little movement manip here. Let's see if we get it. Excellent. Oh,
perfect.
So these bugs
as
casually look random, but they're not. They're actually mostly consistent for the Elden Twilight. But devs did a good thing of making it look like random.
As you're going to be seeing here, FX is going to be having to wait for these bugs to die in a lot of cases. Unfortunately, with how this game works, the bugs take a couple, 2 seconds to die, and then the tier will form, which needs to fully complete, and then hover for a second. Then you can collect them, which makes it kind of awkward. This room, you're going to see how painfully long they can kind of be.
Yeah, sometimes you have to wait for a long time. But we can minimize the downtime here and there with some ruby collection. Not right now, but there's a couple later on. Alright. I jumped really for that one. Almost didn't get it, but still worked out.
I still caught it.
Can I jump in here for a quick donation?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yep,
actually, yeah.
you can.
All right, I've got $100 from username is saying Twilight Princess for the Wii is a great game. Playing the HD remake confused me with the mirrored world settings, though. That does trip people up a lot. I also have $5 here from Delighted235 saying, hello, FX and Keatons. Good luck to see Twilight Princess at an event. Good luck on the run. May the lily pad bugs be nice.
What? Okay.
It's good to see runners from our community here.
Yo, D3, thank
cheering
you
us
so much,
on too. Good to hear from you, D3. And interestingly enough, this game, even from the casual standpoint, so if people don't know, this game in the Wii version is completely mirrored. To kind of, because it was using the motion control, they wanted the shape. Most people are right-handed, so they wanted the Link to be right-handed. Link is canonically known as a left-handed sword user, so they flipped the whole entire game.
Yeah, that's
surprisingly enough.
Yeah, instead of just switching one model, they actually end up flipping the entire game, and I think it's because it's just easier that way.
It was, but it just the memes of like, can I copy your homework? And it's like, yeah, sure, but change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Mirrored the whole game.
Yeah, for anyone.
Surprisingly enough.
Oh yeah.
The runs for the games are dramatically different in what can and can't be done, and it leads to all 3 games being different runs with different times. Surprisingly, GameCube being in place in any percent.
Yeah, it's interesting because each version has its own quickest categories. So, for example, any percent is very quick for the GameCube, but if you're running anything glitchless related, Wii is much quicker. It's you have these back and forth between all these categories for the versions of the game. Okay, good. I'm gonna try a very precise positional trick here, so let's just see if I can get it.
This is going to be known as Wolf Bombhouse Kit. We're going to be seeing him. He's pretty much holding right notch to get a good position. I'm going to be doing some pretty precise little jumps here and making sure he doesn't fall off, holding an ESS position.
Nice.
And getting a jump over there. This is pretty much skipping getting this bug trigger prior and able to catch it right here. This skips having the easier way to do this is by using an LJA as human, but we're doing it just as Wolf, which saves the transformation and makes this a lot quicker. A decent chunk of time quicker. And
Bonk.
killing that bug before enters. Here, I got that. Killing that bug before it gets into the house actually allows us to skip the whole bomb house blowing up and going in there. It skips a whole cutscene. It skips a bunch of shenanigans, and it's pretty nice. It's a big time save.
Bonk.
Another force bonk feels.
I need another force bonk here as well.
Oh man.
Oh man. I'm gonna be broke at the end of this. I'm not gonna bonk.
Okay, we're at
this.
7 right now.
I'll save my wallet for now. Normally you bonk it to the wall again to
Serious?
collect the tier a little faster, but I'll spare myself on that one.
It's okay, you're at 7 right now. I'm trying to think where else do we mandatory bonk. I feel like there's a couple more.
There's a few more, yeah. We'll be good. Alright.
Not to mention, I feel like City's really easy to just bonk around normally.
Yeah. I bonk all the time in City because the textures are not where they seem to be.
Textures are weird.
Yeah.
Getting to the doors, odd.
Alright, so we just have this final segment of the Elden Twilight. We're gonna need 3 more tiers. We're gonna do a quick climb here. There we go. The way that works is the game just checks for Link's, like, where Link is supposed to go when he gets up on the ledge, and just sees, well, that's inside a wall. That can't be right. Bonk. And it just forces you up on the ledge instead, in bounds. So the game is actually quite good at forcing you to stay in bounds, but it does it in a way that makes it a little bit quicker to actually force the game to do that to you. It doesn't work everywhere. It only works on some ledges, but wherever we can.
Some ledges, and you need some precise. Sometimes it can take a pretty precise or interesting angle for it to really work. It's handy to go for, but not stress over.
Yeah, it saves like a second or two if you do it quickly. So there we go. All right.
We have a lot of interesting, cool tech in this game that pretty much is like the rule of thumb is go for it, but don't force it. Forcing that will oftentimes lose you the time that you're trying to gain. Oh man, that's a force one.
Yep.
Oh man, Lineiru's got some.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be here all night, boys. All right, Carver, please be nice. Oh no, that's gonna be bad. The Carver is gonna troll me. Gonna have to do L targeting on this. There we go. Normally I do minute charge,
that was pretty good.
but L target works better when the Carver is that close. There we go.
Yep. Okay, nice stuff. That was a pretty good Elden.
That was solid, yeah. Too bad about all the bonks.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, for you, the bonks are going to be a little rough. They do hit a bit harder.
Interesting mini time save here. We're gonna open the animal and close it immediately, and that gets rid of the title card for the area. And when the title card is up, you can't actually open the map. So we can open and close item wheel. So the title card is gone, and we can open the map and warp away immediately. All right. So.
So as we saw earlier in the run, we went all the way up to Zora's domain, all that stuff. And we noticed that was frozen, right? We need to clear the Twilight here, specifically to get this. This meteor right here is actually one of the biggest reasons why we have to actually clear it. Is there any other reason why this layer is needed?
Nope. We only need this to do linear Twilight.
Nope. Yep.
That's the only reason.
This meteor can only spawn in clear linear Twilight. Or cleared Elden Twilight, which it allows us to go in and clear linear Twilight, which funnily enough, we need to clear this Twilight in order to unlock one
Frame perfect.
Nice, that way, I mean...
You never get that on a good one.
That
Never.
That is not even, I don't even consider that frame perfect. I say that's half a frame. Like, it's a frame perfect trick that no one gets, ever. It's so rare.
Demon never gets
I would put money that Demon... I would put money on his record not having it currently.
Oh, it doesn't. No, I know. It doesn't have it. None of his records have it. I think the last one I had it was his 54. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like 2 years ago right now.
just like everything else in the run, it is one of those things that you go for, but you don't force. You know, you go for it, you get it. Hey, that's good. You know, if you don't get it, you don't really care. But that one specifically, most of the whole community all collectively says it's harder than the rest. It just doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah, that one just, for some reason, doesn't feel like it's frame perfect. It feels like it's sub-frame, but obviously it's not, because that's not how this game works. But nobody ever gets it on a good run. Alright, Lanayru Twilight. I love this one the most, actually. It's one of my, it's definitely my favorite Twilight. It's just, there's a lot of RNG in it, so... As opposed to
you wouldn't
Elden,
need both.
where there's very little RNG, here there's a lot of RNG. So we're gonna have to see how this
Elden
goes.
has some very, very rare RNG to get. Lanayru, we're gonna see some interesting stuff with bug shenanigans that these bugs can do. Though both of these sections are very movement based and much drives down these times like crazy. Elden, you feel it a ton, and Lanayru, even though people like to say it's very RNG heavy, a lot of it still relies on your movements, how well you perform at flank interactions, and how good are you at really setting these things up. Very fun sections of the game. This is my favorite portion of the game, is actually Lanayru Twilight.
Yeah, I love this Twilight. The moment I stopped thinking about it as a bunch of RNG, I just started looking at it as like good movement. My time started dropping so much faster again.
The move FX dude right there was specifically doing a B attack so that he doesn't use up his dash in order to save it, so that he can dash reset off a ledge to the next ledge.
Yeah, the way the game checks that
you've
is... Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's only in certain areas, it's really good and clean movement to get right in a lot of the sections of the game. We're gonna see it in Arbiter's Grounds and a couple other areas, but it feels very satisfying to do these.
Bonk.
Right now he's gonna be getting a real quick. Yeah, let me go get that.
That's an interesting position for the tier. I've never had it happen like that, but okay.
I like how the Zora souls are gonna be a bit concerned if you transform into human there, by the way.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, that's not okay. All right, waterfall site.
That's freaky, man.
That's early. Yep.
Ooh. Explain this trick real quick. I want to be quiet for him doing it. Waterfall side hop is pretty much a 6-frame trick. First 3 frames, you get the result that we just watched him get. The last 3 frames are going to get him to land right a little bit earlier from here, to get him into this desired section that he was here. Odd trick time.
Yeah, so the way I do it actually is more lenience. It's actually only the first frame that fails and everything else is fine. I just got the first frame because I'm not good. Alright, there we go. That's not too bad.
Really good lily pad blocks. That's actually very...
I take those. Ah, come on, get up.
That's one that I think we take there. Those bugs over there are kind of notorious. They will hover around those lily pads. They will do really unique patterns. Depending on how fast you get there, too, it can be a lot more RNG heavy.
Yeah.
Was that a bonk?
No, I didn't bonk. No.
No?
If I would
All
bonk,
right.
I would say it.
I thought I caught it for a second. I was like...
I didn't bonk anywhere there.
But relatively, those lily pad bugs can eat up a deceptively high amount of time. For some rares, it can be up to even 15 seconds of them really through a loop.
If you react, sometimes even if you react perfectly to what they're doing, you can still lose around 10 to 15 seconds to it. Yeah, it's kind of gross. But we had really good RNG there. That was fine. There was nothing wrong with that.
Yep,
Nope.
First, we're gonna kill off this bug. We're gonna be looking for a bit of money, and then we're gonna be collecting our tier, heading out.
So we're gonna go into a section with a lot of running forwards, by the way. So if you have any announcements or incentives that we need to meet, feel free to hop on in.
Yeah, I've definitely got some donations here. $50 from Anonymous with no comment, rather. Thank you very much for that, Anonymous. I also have $5 from Be Wild Beast saying, "Can the wolf also wear the fish suit? Good luck." It's a good question.
I've never tried
$10 here.
this.
That's a good experiment. I think we should test that. I've got $10 here from Pork Bulgogi saying, "ESA has been a great way to spend my time off work. Wolflink is a very good boy. Put my donation toward the Totodile nickname. All the party people on the West Coast love Bulba." So that $10 did indeed go towards that nickname. I love Bulba. And then I also have $50 here from Heartpiece, saying so exciting to see my favorite Zelda at ESA, and by such an amazing runner. Good luck, FX. Cheering you on from the other side of the globe. Let's beat Ganon and beat Alzheimer's.
Let's do that. Yeah, exactly. Alzheimer's is truly terrible, and we can make a difference. Like, if you can afford to miss a little bit of money, feel free to donate. It really does matter. Every little bit helps, and
even small amounts can help make a big difference for someone else. These things truly do help a lot of people out there.
All right,
all of that, and also I just wanted to say that we're less than 2,000. I think 1,500 from matching our ESA 21 summer total, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. So we could match that or beat it very soon here, especially with that Mario Kart incentive.
I mean, we can do that, right? We have like a few more hours.
I think we can hit it. Also, good to hear from more people from the community.
Yeah, guys,
supporting us.
Thanks so much for coming out in full force. Really appreciate it. I hope
to any of you who are
justice.
Any of you getting into speedrunning or have an interest in getting a speedrun, Twilight Princess is a very friendly community, and we have a lot of really amazing people.
Yeah, I can echo.
As you can see, we have a lot of people who we've recognized in these donations who are amazing people in our community.
The walking animation.
Did you get pushed by a guard?
No, I got pushed by the
you got by a guard
walking animation. No.
Have you seen the clip of, I can't remember who it was, someone in the community who got pushed like straight up, couldn't get in the lead zone because the spears were pushing them.
It depends on bonk, by the way. Okay, come on, please. Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Hello. Where did they go?
Bug?
Where did the what? What?
Oh shit! I thought he was about to just fly off. I thought we were about to see a Death Sword moment. I thought he was done.
All right. Okay,
he had enough FX. He was like, I'm done with you.
That bug was on a mission, man. He was not about to give up.
I truly thought we were about to stand here and watch a soft lock of the game, and he's about to fly away like Death Sword. And I was about to be like, okay, goodbye. I thought it was coming.
I was feeling it, but nah. Luckily, okay, let's get this guy. Sure, jump in the water.
Oh,
why not? That.
Jump in the water. Sadly, it adds like an extra 2 seconds to the whole process of them dying to you.
Good wave.
It sucks. I don't know why. You know, Ian, which one is it? Wii 1.0. It's one of the Wii versions. They just fall all the way down to the bottom of the lake.
Oh yeah, it's 1.0. They sink all the way to the bottom. You have to wait for it to back up. It's great, especially when you're doing the boss bug and you just no.
It's a little rough.
Alright, so this is another cargo flight. We're just gonna ignore that first bug. Gonna get this one instead. Maybe not. Okay.
Oh my goodness, he is dodging
they are
like crazy.
Okay, how am I gonna fix this?
You got the time to, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that's one. The next one should be above.
I'm gonna have to do like way more of this freaking segment. Normally you would be done now, but I'm gonna have to wait for this bug to catch up again. There we go. And we have one more now because I did miss that one. Where did it? There you are.
Targeting these bugs can be really weird and awkward at times, so they can be a little annoying.
Okay, but we're just.
He is really going slower.
Yeah, they're going weird. There we go.
There we go.
Bonk. I'm gonna say no to Midna here. We don't want to try again. And it's conveniently gonna spawn us right next to the final single bug, just before the boss fight for this area.
Yeah, luckily, well, not really luckily, but how Lanier is routed, pretty much end the route with this bug, who's usually pretty inconveniently out of the way. We just spawn right by him if we say no, up Zora's River.
Also,
it's really nice and makes Laniru kind of end really nice and cleanly.
Something I haven't really touched on at all is the lag in this game. The GameCube version is notoriously laggy, and I'm trying to reduce it by turning on sense whenever I don't need to see where I'm going. Because when you have senses active, the game doesn't have to render as much of the surroundings, and it actually reduces the lag.
Yeah, water follows many other things in this game. Lag the game pretty badly. It is very noticeable. Over a course of a run, it can be a lot of time.
Ah, I mistimed that.
Ooh, went for. So what FX is going for here is some quick bug knockdowns where he'd get them right after the dash attack that we originally saw. It's after 2 backflips, you're able to pretty much re-attack it and then attack it a final time to hop onto it. It can be a little bit weird.
I'm not sure why
It's
I
a pretty
get
quick
right
timing
now.
too.
This will work. Okay, thanks, I guess.
And sometimes you bonk off of it.
Bonk. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay then. Never mind. Just didn't let me jump on top. There we go. Bonk.
Yeah, that counts as one too.
And that is a time save though. That one saves time because it cancels out the
Bonking in there,
cutscene feeding a bug.
Yep, exactly. One funny thing about that bug is even if you do get the trick sometimes, depending on your timing, you could have to jump on it. I've had to jump on that bug 3 times to get to actually do the hit. That bug can be really weird getting the quick hits there, and it is weird. As we saw FX, he got the result of bonking off of it.
Which is very cool. Alright, and now we get to do the Zora Armor part of this run, where we get to skip the bombs.
This is probably the biggest separator between the 2 routes that we'll see. Right now, the other route's going to be doing a lot of stuff to go bomb shenanigans, as I'll call them. Getting bomb bags, dumping bomb bags, getting other bomb bags. This route instead is going to be doing a section known as Escort. Both the things that both runs are going to be doing things in order to complete one boss fight, and then a boss fight way later in the game. Literally, it's pretty much exclusively used for those 2 things.
Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start an auto-scroller sequence, but we're going to sequence break out of it, and then we'll do another like small auto-scroller after that. So the way this works is the escort sequence that we're going to be doing is split up into several parts, and we can actually skip through some of it. I know most notably we can skip a boss fight in the middle of it with some precise movement. So I'm going to be setting up some precise timing of my spurs on the opponent's back, and we'll be setting up opponent right in the corner to try and clip out of bounds. So I'm going to be focusing on my spur management. Maybe Keaton can elaborate as it happens.
This will basically allow him to skip this little fight section, another fight section with King Boblin. Essentially just putting him straight into Knight and skipping a good section of things.
Whoops. Come on. There you go.
Nice. Really quick on that too. It can be a little awkward trying to set opponent up into these areas and sections. So then he's gonna slash opponent and then hop back on. We don't condone abusing opponent, but you know, in this case of this speedrun, you know, you got it. It does save time.
So, a couple spin attacks for good luck. Because the frame perfect trick is coming up, where if we don't get the frame perfect, we lose 2 minutes. So, bear with me, guys. My movement here is very
if you're
precise
sitting there in the
specific.
audience.
And the reason I'm doing specific movement is to try and avoid this specifically, but we'll be alright. I'll just put it out.
People sitting there in the audience, you know, get your prayers up. Let's hope for this trick to go well. FX, you take it away. I'm explaining it.
Come on. Well, first of all, I need to collect a rupee, but I'm already a bit slow, so we'll have to see how that works out. So there's a rupee under this bridge, and I need to go get it. And because this is an auto-scroller, technically, we can just go and leave the wagon alone. But come on. We're gonna look to the right to reduce lag on this cutscene, and we're gonna try and quickly close shot back out and get it back on opponent. We need to get back to the wagon before a bomb explodes.
Good claw shot.
I think we'll be fine. It's gonna be close, but it should be okay. It's not gonna be fine because yeah. Oh, we got it. Never mind.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to.
I am surprised you caught that.
Need to wait here though for the wagon because it's too much fire. Gonna have to put it out. We can leave it now, but I need to have to put it out there. Okay, thanks game. this is going to be annoying now, because the wagon is going to be in my way if I don't hurry up. So I'm going to do a frame-perfect backflip cancel out of Epona, and we'll try to cross this bridge that isn't actually here. There we go.
And he gets it perfect.
So
that is actually
frame
the most
perfect.
optimal way that you can have that done, too.
And now we just need to do one final skip here. There we go.
Nice. Perfect. That is amazing. That is the 2-minute trick that, or a trick that loses 2 minutes. And how he got it, not only was that the most optimal area you could do it, so he landed so Epona was not stuck on the bridge. You could have Epona be stuck on the lower section. He had it perfectly set so that right as he got done, he's able to hop right back on Epona and continue.
Can we get some slow jumps in the chat? This is a hype tune. Yeah, after that really stressful moment where you have to, you know, if you fail that, your run is over effectively.
Honestly,
but
for this version, for this route too, that trick is probably one of the final giant run enders, the ones that you really stress about. Interestingly enough, you can go back out of that
bonk,
tunnel too, and
apparently.
it will still pop you out. Yeah, yeah. The game was like, yeah, fine. It was like, that's pretty funny. You can walk backwards, huh? Here you go.
Yeah, the game just not having it today. The game's just like, I see what you're doing, but screw you. All right, Zora Armor. There we go. This is what we wanted.
TP believes in the cause. Let's just say that this game does have feelings.
So the Zora Queen is very happy that we didn't save anybody because we left the wagon behind on fire, but she's very happy, so she gave us the armor. And now we can just go sequence break some more. So we're basically what we're doing in this whole first half of the run is we're just trying to check some boxes in the storyline progression that are like required. And once we have all the boxes ticked, we can just leave and go do the final dungeon rush effectively.
Right now we're about to go pick up one of the final items that we're gonna need. Certainly some of the dungeons that we're gonna be clearing. So Lake Bed is a mandatory one due to how much like SS, there's a lot of scenes and flags and like sequence in the game that change depending on what has happened. Right? And the major ones are gonna be the enders. So dungeons that pretty much finish or complete something. So the Fuse Shadow is completed once you clear Lake Bed.
So I'm gonna unplug.
That's why that one's.
And then we're gonna plug it back in. Can I get there with my hands? There we go. And this activates
Right now, doing a quick thing.
I didn't need to turn human. That's.
Hey, not too bad of a time loss. But the glitch he's doing right there is he unplugs the controller so that basically we can put it back in while holding two things. Where you can also do it without unplugging, but you're gonna open up the map and call Minda. You're gonna map warp, and then Minda's gonna cancel your warp away. And the game gets in the state where it disables void out planes and load zones. So it's quite interesting. And instead of getting the reek fish, we're able to run straight up.
Yeah, so normally you have to do a big side quest here to go find our way through this fog or snowstorm. And we're just we don't want to do that. It's just bothersome. So we're just gonna instead disable the void zone and run straight through. But we do have the one problem of how do we progress now that we don't have loading zones or void zones anymore. But there's luckily a very convenient solution right at the top of the mountain, which we'll see in just a moment.
Quite literally, if this solution wasn't here, we could not do this trick. We would have to do a much more painful trick, known as Wolfo Super Jump, which is going to mimic kind of what you saw with the...
Bonk.
Man, another mandatory one. It would mimic kind of what we saw with the early Master Sword, where FX did a super jump off of the enemy. It would mimic something like that, but much, much more precise. Luckily, we have this Howling Stone. It allows us to break out of it.
Yeah, so Howling Stones count as cutscene transitions when you finish the song. And cutscene transitions refresh your area, and with it, it will refresh the loading zones and void zones, which means we can just continue the run as normal. So it's super convenient and kind of lucky that there's a Howling Stone right there, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to, as Katie mentioned, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, you get to play unnamed song number 2. Like it's a jam.
And we don't even listen to the rest of it. We just howl it and then we just leave. All right. So we're on our way to a late game dungeon, effectively, but we're only going here for the item, and then we'll just be on our way again.
Interestingly enough, a lot of the dungeons in this game aren't actually affected by some of the major changes in the game. Most of the late game dungeons, such as this one. I'm trying to think. TOT is affected by it. But this one we can pretty much go to without having transition into like kind of the mid to end game area of the game. And no, you were good.
That was a little bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie.
It was a little. You were a little close.
That was really far. I was really close to the trigger and really far left on the boomerang though. No, we're not here for a spiritual mission or whatever.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How could you do this, my man? Yet he offers you life advice.
We're gonna go.
And you just ignored it.
I could try to speak German, but I don't want to. They're just gonna go snowboarding. Which,
okay.
For some reason, they translate it as Rutschen, which
I mean, I don't know why they translate. What's his name? Who's the Fire Temple boss? What's his normal name?
Bonk. Fyrus.
Oh, another one. Yeah, Fyrus. Fyrus gets translated into Flamatron. Don't know why, but
it does sound cool though. Too bad we never got to see
sound a lot more cool.
Flamatron. Let's go, boys. We also have the Greifhaken,
if you look
of
at
course, which is German.
You should actually look. If you look at the whole, there's a whole sheet that was made on all the translated names, and it's wild. The TP crew just went crazy. They had fun with it.
I need to fill out some blanks because there's a lot of blanks on the Korean one, and I got my hands on a version a couple weeks ago, so I need to go fill that out.
Oh, please do. I want to see what they named some of the people.
This is a good time for some donations.
So far,
didn't get the 5.
I
need to focus for a quick moment here.
Perfect.
I need to spend just a minute here, and then it'll be good. Okay, we're good.
Alrighty, I've got $20 from Orangey with no comments. Thank you very much for that, Orangey. I've got $20 from Sigurd999 saying go donating for good luck during the Muckhead run. Sadly, it's going to be in the middle of the night for me, but it's just better now to donate now. Thank you very much for that. I also have $25 from Plasmolus saying good luck on the run and remember to have fun.
So that's my brother. He's been super supportive of me when I started streaming. It's truly amazing. Thank you so much, dude. Alright, we made it into Snow Peak Ruins.
So that section that we just had, we call it blind snowboarding. Since you skipped the clearing the killing the watchers and getting the portal, we pretty much have to keep the snow or kind of blizzard that's around there. Once you beat that fight, it clears it up, but we never do that. We're going to see a quick LJ over here, which is going to take us to a heart piece in the dungeon, which takes us pretty much halfway through the dungeon. This is like the halfway-ish point.
These standard speedrun stuff, we're going to close up through the ceiling, and then in just a moment we're going to... I mean, that's probably it, right? There's no more weird...
Do something that was introduced only... This new writing that we're seeing for this dungeon, this is the first time it's ever been shown. I don't think in the last... we haven't had much show this off, but this is our new routing where we're able to do a very interesting little clip into the ice.
So we should really rename Snow Peak into Clip City because everything we just clip through.
Everything is clipping in this one, and that one that we just saw, FX took it on it. It came out recent. It came out well, relative in TP terms. Yeah, it's relatively recent. And then we're gonna come over here and do another clip into this freezer, which is gonna take us to the item of the dungeon, which is their only desire for this dungeon.
Luckily, it didn't
flip straight through. Oh man, TP felt bad for you this time.
Yeah, it had mercy.
The only sad part about the bite route is he's missing a bomb for this mini boss fight, where the bomb version of this fight is very, very, very fun. But both are still very fun.
Did I get too early again? I went too early. So I actually figured this one out, Keaton, but I just messed it up again. You know what? Let's just do the casual strat. Never mind, I'm just dead. Oh, that's the casual strat, by the way. Just die.
That casual shots die in
tragic
a class shot.
Wait,
what were you saying about what you figured out?
Yeah, no, it's about the movement there, but I went too early on that, and that's why it didn't work. But we'll just try again.
Why don't you Why don't you mimic the bomb move you do?
Because
it still shows you the exact same thing.
angle. I just hate the angle for the bomb with the bomb movement that you end up with. You have to like roll backwards into the ball and chain afterwards. I just hate it. I just prefer this. It's also slightly quicker technically to do it my way. If you don't have bombs, so. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I've always done it. Just recently when I came back to this category, I haven't been able to get it anymore. But I did a bunch of labbing to figure out why, and I thought I had it. But let's try again. That should be fine, huh? Yeah, this should be good. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Just like that.
I'm pretty sure for this fight, it's based off of max distance away from him.
So it works with if you roll around him, he won't throw. If you roll too early, he will not throw the bowling chain at you. You have to be walking away from him, which is very strange that they coded it that way, but that's how it ends up working.
He's an awkward boss fight. I don't know. TP does weird things. Why do we have boss fights that give us ending blow and then others that only use the end of a combo? Like, huh?
Morgenstern.
They did some wacky stuff.
For anyone enjoying German, gonna equip the Zora Armor now. Save warp, and then we have one more thing to do in this dungeon before we leave, and that's we need some more money. Because as mentioned before, we need 300, and we're not quite near that just yet. So we're gonna
show us the money. In the other route, we go get another 100 ruby that's a little bit further in the cheese room. But for this route, we don't really need to go into that room since FX used the spare time he had an escort to. Oh wow. Used the spare time that he had an escort to get 100 rubies there, which saves him getting the other one.
We're at like 15 bonks now, aren't we?
Right now you are at 17 monks.
Cool. Yeah, that's. And we have a couple more mandatory ones as well. I'm pretty sure. So that's gonna be fun.
City in the sky, you are going to be clenching.
Hang on. I'm just gonna do this the safe way. There we go.
We're gonna be watching FX do a very interesting Bosky skip here. He's gonna get a interesting lineup, do some backflips, and then hop right into the boss fight.
Yes.
In the other route.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This is one of the most kind of tense moments. This boss has a lot of RNG. In the other version, we're using bombs where you can easily drown. It's a huge major time loss, just like how the opponent slide he did an escort was a huge major time loss.
Real quick, I want to point out if you have like thalassophobia or like fear of deep waters, this is a good time to go take a break, go to the bathroom, have a drink or something. Come back in like 3 minutes, you'll be fine.
Since he's gotten the Zora Armor, conveniently, this fight goes from being one of the hardest and one of the most tense to one of the easiest with no worries. Absolutely none. Very easy, very little movement. It's kind of interesting, actually. With Zora Armor, I enjoy this fight still, too.
Yeah, this fight with the Zora Armor is really cool because it can be over in like 20 seconds. So I'll try to show it off. I don't like doing the double regrabs. So I'm gonna be doing forced regrabs on Morphill's back to basically skip most of the intended fight. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. I'm only gonna do one because I like the consistency of just doing a single one. You can do doubles, but doubles are less consistent.
I've heard going for one's pretty free. The double is pretty rough. So he's gonna force unequip Iron Boots there, and then force unequipping is gonna just take you off of more fuel right there, and we're just gonna immediately claw shot back on. That animation you just saw linked to where he was getting shooken off by more fuel is taken away when you force unequip Iron Boots.
There you go.
And
that is more fuel.
Ending blow, the boss is done.
So this cutscene is pretty lengthy, but we can quickly go over what's going to happen in this story. So this will be, story-wise, the final fused shadow, the final artifact of power that Min has after. When we finally get it, it turns out that Zant, which is the big bad, has actually been waiting for us, and is just instantly going to take us out. And he actually, one of the Spirits of Light tries to help us, and Zant just one-shots it. So we get to see that Zant is this amazingly powerful sorcerer, and we somehow need to figure out a way to defeat him eventually. But he curses us, so we first need to find a solution to the curse.
Well, he not only curses us, but he hurts Minna into a point where she's almost dying. He almost literally takes out both of you within a matter of a minute. After you've taken casually, this is like I said, probably 5 hours of you doing stuff to try and even challenge him. He just looks at you and is like, you can't even compete.
Yeah, you're not even close. So we need to figure out a plan. And
we're gonna have one of the best songs coming up in Twilight Princess, period. Or not just Twilight Princess. I'd say probably one of the best in the franchise coming up.
Yeah. So I'm picking this hard. Normally I wouldn't, but marathon safety.
Safety heart. That's not bad.
Especially because
we
I'm
have
wearing Zora Armor, and we're going to be fighting some enemies with fire arrows, and when you're wearing the Zora Armor, fire deals 10 times the damage, which...
Yep, Link functions like a Pokemon. Sometimes he takes these some things are super effective against him.
Yeah, and with 3 hearts, which normally is how I do it in actual PB attempts, you get one shot by fire arrows, so I'll just pick up the safety heart, just to be safe.
Hey, it's worth it. We all need a safety heart sometimes.
Also, I'm sorry, what at least I just tried. So, with the fish suit on, but doesn't look like Wolflink is wearing it, we tried. So yeah, as we just explained, that part of the story just happened. Zant has cursed us and Minna, and we need to find a solution. Normally, this part of the story follows directly, and then normally after this you go get the Master Sword. We already did that earlier, so we only need to save Midna now, and then we can just move on with our speedrun.
Any donations? This would be a perfect time.
Yeah, we have a bunch of running forwards now.
Awesome. I've got $25 here from 64-bit Link with no comment, but thank you very much for that. Also, I have $25 from Kipcode saying, I'm glad to see my first speed game run on ESA. Will we have a chance to see the infamous Stallard skip? Thanks the whole team for such a great event together. Thank you very much for that.
Guys, thank you so much.
I also do have one more.
Yeah?
I have a $200 donation from Dom. Yeah. Saying, save those frames, y'all. Let's go. And that $200 also goes towards the crowd control run for Mario Kart, which we are $125 away from our first 1,000 on that incentive.
Bonk.
We still have plenty of time. Love to see that at ESA this year.
Yo. Thank you so much for all the donations, everybody. That's really hype. Can I not bonk again? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. These amazing donations. Thank you guys so much for coming out here, being here to watch us, and also support the cause.
So, this cat, Louise, she's gonna be a bit of an uptight individual that doesn't really want to help us at first, but she'll eventually decide, like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll tell you where to go. She'll show us that we should just follow where she came from, and there's a path through the sewers to get back to where we initially met Zelda. Because we need Zelda to lift this curse. That's the idea right now. That's the hope. That Zelda is powerful to lift the curse from Midna.
Casually, this is a point where Zant does enough damage to both of you to where you need to go out of your way to go fix both of you. Minda's down and about to die, and you're trapped as a wolf. And in the game, we fix one by going to Zelda, and we get the Master Sword to fix the other. Luckily, we've already, like FX said prior, we already have the Master Sword, so we're pretty set on that.
Yeah, we're actually going to abuse
You're going to meet...
in just a moment as well.
Yeah, who we meet, I'm trying to think, what's his name?
Who? What are we doing? I'm...
No, this guy right here. Is this,
Giovanni.
That's Giovanni, there we go.
He's a very rich person, but he's trapped in solid gold for his greed. So
quite literally almost a minus touch case.
We'll just leave him alone. Don't need that. Alright, so... as I said, we're going to abuse the fact that we already have the Master Sword here. It, funnily enough, saves almost no time. So, interestingly enough, my glitchless split for this one is just identical in timing compared to the 80% one, even though you would think that 80% saves a bit of time here. But, yeah, it just kind of works out that it doesn't really matter. but it's easier to do this.
Also, you got the good ledge animation skip there. I find that one painful. So
It's super painful if you're actually holding the stick, especially, which is a thing in glitchless again. But for 80%, I find it not too bad. Definitely annoying though. That's for sure. It's definitely more precise than the others. That. Okay, that's fine.
we're gonna see some interest. This
Okay.
archer over here, that sucks that he got knocked into the water. We need to kill him. He actually will snipe you from the bottom here all the way to the top. We're gonna do some cool jumping and some movement so that we get to skip over some of the ropes.
Yeah, we don't want to touch ropes,
Ropes.
mostly if we don't have to because they suck. I don't know if you want to elaborate.
Ropes suck. Every Zelda game they somehow mess this up.
Because Link will just ignore ropes sometimes. Like, you'll just be right on them, and Link will just ignore them and just jump off into the void, and you're like, alright.
Other times, he likes to just glue straight to him. He likes to immediately latch onto him like he's
Snap
an
from a
iron
mile
fist.
away, yeah. So we're gonna skip these and then do this last one. I don't like this jump attack. There's a jump attack there which just saves like half a second. I've never been able to make it work, but we're gonna go for a very tight cycle here.
There's actually 2 jump attacks in that room too.
So we need to beat the wind cycle in this room.
Yeah, you're gonna see a really sketchy jump onto a bridge that's gonna look really tight. You need good movement, you need good dashing and pretty much solid movement throughout this room, or else you're not gonna make it to this bridge. And it's gonna look like it's.
I got trolled. Are you serious?
Even if you get the timing, that bridge sometimes does not care, and it will. We've seen runners fall through it. We've seen It looks like they're playing Smash Bros. Brawl. They're getting tripped and they're falling off their bridge.
Yeah, so the bridge gave me the tripping animation, which just makes me unable to actually make that jump. And there's nothing you can do about it. It just happens, and yeah, you feel bad about it.
So, like I was saying before, we've seen people just straight up jump into it and just go straight through.
Yeah, oh, there was one, it was the damageless run by Samu. He was damageless all the way up to there, then he just fell straight through the bridge. And then everything else after that was damageless as well. It was so sad.
Poor man.
It was always a heartbreaker, actually. Alright, we're gonna do the quick item wheel thing here again to get rid of the text at the top of the screen, so we can warp immediately. As mentioned, normally you would be getting the Master now, but we already have it, so we can just move ahead with the rest of the story. So how that goes is we need to go to the Gerudo Desert now, because Midnight has heard of this place where there's supposed to be a mirror of Twilight, which is like the gateway between the 2 dimensions, and we need to find that so that we can confront Sant again. Not sure why her plan is to just, we just got destroyed, and her plan is to just go try again immediately, but that is what she wants us to do.
Well, to be fair, prior, she thought you were just kind of some, she kind of knew you were important, but she didn't know how important you were. When you pick up the Master Sword, she kind of realizes, oh crap, this guy's kind of for real. He's the real deal.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a very sweet outfit now. Like, we're rocking some drip. That's
you know,
we do.
We are in that good drip. Yeah, we're in that good drip.
Like the blue, it works. This is like the coolest to me.
Yeah,
also, I'm trying to. I'm just gonna show it, but we're looking away from the lake because lag.
Don't do it! Don't do it! The frames, our frames.
Rip all the frames just then, just instantly. All right, so this is Auru. He's gonna explain this.
Even the panning out in the cutscene loses frames.
It's insane, yeah. Even during the cutscene, like half a second of seeing it. But yeah.
In this route, we get to just go straight in the water and swim there. Swimming's actually pretty fast with the Zora Armor.
Again, I'm gonna look away. I'll show it again, like look at the difference. Ugh, that's oof. I'll just look away. How about that? That's much nicer. All right.
It's still laggy. They're all laggy.
It's not as bad though. All right, let's get up here. Let's show this note to our man who just wants money. And this
so
note
second time.
Yeah.
This note pretty much it gives access. It's like kind of him saying, "Hey, you need to help out my friends. Shoot them into the the desert." This is the second time fire has been required to progress in the game. So first he gave us Upper Zora River, and like pretty much Zora's domain and everything. He just gave us Sand Oasis or Gerudo Desert, pretty much. And he's gonna have another implication later in the game.
Again, we're not looking at anything because, ow, the lag. So I'll just keep the camera facing away from everything.
Interestingly enough, Wii doesn't lag that much. Neither does Wii U.
Wii doesn't lag at all.
Neither does too.
Wii has 0
Yeah,
lag.
it's seamless.
It's,
Does the Wii U have much, or is it pretty much 0 too? I thought it was.
the Wii U is actually worse than the Wii for the Wii version, from what I know. Which is very strange. But yeah, it's because the way they compressed the GameCube files to fit on the disc, it's harder for the game for the CPU to open the files up and read them efficiently. So it just takes longer.
Oh.
And then, yeah. Because if you look at the files, the Wii version is about 4 gigabytes. It's a little bit over, but 4. And then the GameCube one is 1 gigabyte. But it's the same game. So they had to compress everything from 4 down to 1 gigabyte. So like having to open that up is where all the lag comes from.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. We have over here, this little area. Some walls just don't really exist. We can kind of just like clip through,
You just walk through.
slide on through.
I made it look simple, but that one is really finicky. So yeah.
That was a really good wolf clip there. We're gonna see FX taking out the GameCube controller again. This is gonna be setting up map glitch.
Oh, this is annoying. I'm not used to this positioning of the... Come on. There you go. There we go. Now we do transform. I'm not gonna safety save because I'm not an idiot. I'll take
we
I'll
have
take
a
the
fight.
loss.
We have a fight coming up here, which would lose like what, 14 minutes?
If I were to soft lock here by dying, I would go back to Snow Peak before Morphil. It's like 14 to 15 minutes.
It is an extreme time loss. Take in a little bit of a safety save. No problem with that. We are doing
really
pretty
like
good
this
towards the
angle.
time that we're.
I don't like these angles. Hang on. Okay, I'm just trying to be safe. Okay, this should be working. There we go. So because we activated map glitch again, we just jump down into the void and it will never void us out. But the cutscene triggers are still there.
Missing that cutscene or missing that cutscene trigger there is pretty brutal. It loses you a crap ton of time.
Oh boy.
You know, you wanted to test your luck, guys.
I was feeling it. Everybody dies to KB3 once, but not today.
I'm not excited for the day that happens to me. I have not had it happen. I'm not excited because I know it will happen.
Oh, you just cursed yourself. It's gonna happen next run.
It's every single TV player, man, has it.
Everyone has died to this fight, and you lose 15 minutes. It's yeah. The reason you lose that much time.
It's happened in races too.
Yeah. So the reason you lose that much time is because when you're in map glitch, you also can't game over. So you get stuck on the death screen, and you can't continue. So you have to just reset and go back to your previous save. And the previous save for most runners will be Lake Bed. Or not even, no, it will be Snow Peak. So, yeah. Not great. So I'm gonna mash buttons here. There we go. I'm gonna do 3 rolls and then side hop up. There we go.
Nice,
and now we're
good
into AG, which is probably the most technically demanding dungeon for this speedrun. So there might be times
many
where I'm
runners,
pretty quiet, and I'll just leave Keaton to it.
For many runners, this is kind of the section of the game where people fall in love with TP. The end portion of this game is way less trick heavy, way more movement. And honestly, some tricks like the LJA becomes almost second nature in these dungeons to where they are more like natural movement. FX having a little got off the ground a little bit, but still doing relatively very good.
I had to do a bit of a backup there, yeah. I kind of had the bad angle when I came out of the first climb. So I jumped, didn't quite line up. Normally you can just do quick 3 jumps and across the platforms and it works out pretty nicely. But you need to be really careful because if you don't get the roll into the sand pit, you instantly void out and you're just back to the start of the dungeon.
Yep. Interestingly enough too, TP is one of the really cool games where your camera is kind of very important to your movement. We have a free roam camera. We're able to move it, and very much that can change how a lot of our rolls can. You can do curved rolls with the camera and all that, and it very much leads to wonky situations. Not only an interesting glitch that we know as analog stick glitch or bug, which camera can dictate when coming out of cutscenes and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can actually lock your angles, which is the best way to explain it. So if you're holding your analog stick in a certain direction and you press target and then let go of target, but you're still holding the analog stick in the direction, that will be read as neutral instead. So you can really mess yourself up if you aren't mindful of when you press target when holding a direction on the analog.
So AG fun dungeon. We got this first Poe here. You know, most people they go get that Poe. We don't need that Poe. We're gonna go say hello to the fourth Poe in the dungeon. Using LJAs, we're able to do a pretty interesting jump. We really like columns and pillars in this run. And wow, that little guy really hates you.
There we go.
A good Poe 1 skip as we call it. Using LJ, get on that pillar, you need to be holding a pretty good angle, and then you get a jump off of it.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
You can clip through the pillar from the bottom. The game will just force link on top. Because it thinks, well, you can't be inside the pillar, so it just moves you onto it, and you get, I think it's 4 frames to roll off of it. If you have low health,
it's 4 frames and... Yeah, oh my goodness. I was practicing that trick again, FX. I had 1 heart, and I was like, I can't get this. Yeah. And then I realized, oh, it's because I have 1 heart.
Because you have 1 heart, yeah.
We've had some really good runners in the past in races just randomly do it with 1 heart without realizing it, and it's quite funny.
Yeah, if you don't think less than 1 1/4, so if you have 1 heart or lower, it's frame perfect to do those kinds of rolls. So
it's brutal.
I should have probably transformed already.
So here we're gonna be starting the 4th Poe of the dungeon. Usually this is like the last one you get, right?
Something really cool about this one. Oh, sorry.
Here you go. You can do it.
Yeah, so something really cool about this one is actually this is the one enemy we can actually RNG manip in this game. So we just need to wait for this. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is a jump attack, and then they will just do a quick cycle again immediately. Yeah. So each Poe has a different move you should pull off to manip what they're gonna do. And you can reliably force them into a quick cycle immediately, which is actually the only enemy that works this way, which is very strange, but yeah, that's how they did it.
We saw FX drag them over to the door, which is some normalized movement that was brought in kind of last year, where more people started doing it, and we have some really quick ways to complete that fight. If you're lucky and it ends up being the Poe in the front, you can get through this room extremely fast. But just where we left him, where he is now is what the best RNG used to be. So that was that's like the 2nd best RNG for the fight now.
That's the worst one.
Is that? I thought the sides
are better, yeah. But yeah, I also had really bad RNG on the first cycle anyway, it didn't really matter.
I mean, yeah, you spun like what? Didn't they spin?
They did like 4 spins, it was disgusting.
They did a ridiculous amount of spinning. Which that's uncontrollable RNG. In terms of how FX played it optimally, the fight's still gonna drain time from you no matter what you do. Ooh, good job, you slid straight down the stairs.
Yeah.
Going to the 2nd Poe, we're gonna have just a little bit of general movement. Some people think that getting knocked off by this bubba here does anything. It does absolutely jack.
It does something if you're TAS. You can beat this pre-dead. You can just close it out before he becomes active if you're a TAS.
Wait, for TAS it actually affects it?
Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's disgusting.
I want to be like TAS one day, you know?
Well, I didn't equip the close up, shit. Let me just quickly do that.
Our test for this game is really fun, by the way. If you go check it out, I think it was created by Gymnast. Good test. It's really fun and entertaining. Looks very different than what we'll see humans do. There's some destructively interesting movement you can do in TP.
Bonk. It's unfortunate that so many fast strats are bonks.
Unfortunate.
Should have really thought about that.
It's okay. Before you said that, you really did not think about all the mandatory bonks that we do in this game. And I promise you guys, we're gonna be hitting City in the Sky soon, and that dungeon typically has a lot of bonks. There's a good amount of times you can bonk in there.
Let's see if I get this. I'm not gonna get it.
Okay, he's going for speed.
Sure.
Remy, no, that's fine. That's fine. You'll still save a bit of time. You lose like 1 second on Remy.
But
we call that
funny
Remy
because I actually
speed
messed
rat?
it up and it still worked.
No, that's kind of one of the safer ways to do. I know he can hit you on the second he does there, but like, if you get hit by the third, it's not that bad still.
All right.
Still a lot more optimal than what a lot of people opt for, which is killing the rat and then going.
Killing is ultra slow. I would never do that.
Yeah, it's extremely slow.
That's only like if you completely fail the rat manip.
The minute.
You have to. Like, there's no solution other than just killing it because there's no backup to make the rat go far enough away to where you can start pushing the.
Yeah, Remy will pretty much attack you relentlessly and not let you hit the lever if you've really messed him up.
Alright, this Reader sometimes plays according to his own rules.
Sometimes plays a bit hard to get.
There we go, that worked.
Ooh, good stuff. Lands right by it too. Here we're gonna gather some of the last rubies in the dungeon that the last amount of money that we're ever gonna need.
Need this money, so I'm just gonna go get it. Can I get those last rupee? Thank you. I'm gonna jump away from this Reader because I don't want to alert him. Okay, good. Trying to get this frame perfect dash. There you go.
Luckily enough, the game only checks for these 3 Poes. The first Poe in the first room doesn't matter. You do not need the game.
Yep, that's correct. For some reason, they just decided that. I guess they just assumed that you would always kill the first one anyway. So
I mean, in a lot of these Zelda games, they assume many things. Like, they assume that originally, if you get the final Fuse Shadow, that you'll have the other 2, so we don't complete the first 2 dungeons. For Mirror Twilight, they assume that you've completed all of them if you've done City in the Sky. So,
yep.
Nintendo used to assume many things and not have many checks for if you had or if you had actually done them. They just assume you did if you have the final one.
So we still have a bunch of more technical movement, but we'll have a lull in about 4 minutes, I would say, for some incentive stuff. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Okay, there we go.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You
that
know
one.
the number you're at now?
22 in it.
Would you like to know the number? Oh, you already know. You have it memorized already. Be careful here. You can hit some more.
Nah, I would never bonk here.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do human movement. Wolf movement.
I tried.
Okay, you know. My statement now stands strong. Be careful here.
I used to do this all the time.
I love the wolf movement. I still sometimes bonk on that first jump. I don't know why.
So this is one room where not having bombs actually matters. We're gonna have to do a bit of a different solution. Normally there's 3 skeletons here, and you just put down some bombs to kill them. But we don't have bombs because we skipped them. So we're gonna have to do something else. Yeah, so
alternative to not having bombs, a lot of times people are gonna replace bombs with ball and chain. Ironically, for a lot of the strats that are on.
There we go. I think I'll pick up this.
And
for safety.
It swiftly kills a lot of these enemies, and ball and chain is kind of your convenient way to do mass damage. It's very convenient and nice.
Okay, so we have a boss fight coming up, and then we'll have a bit of a breather. So the boss fight here, I'm actually going to try to skip it. It's quite precise and finicky, so I'm only going to try twice, but we'll see if I can get it.
So, much like a few of the other shots that have been invented for this game, this was originally found and considered to be only allowed to be done by robots. They thought humans would not be able to do this. TP, being the crazy cracked community that we are, slowly figured out a way for humans to do it. This is one of the 3 to 4 tricks that we never intended to be done by people. And now it's almost mandatory for your run to be even, like, for a lot of these very, very short time, or like record contesting runs pretty much are going to be going for this.
Oh, that is really fast. Holy crap.
I mean, your RNG is looking amazing for it, but...
Okay, cool. Yep.
Okay, that was amazing. That was probably one of the best Escort skips you could ask for.
That is actually insane.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is stupid fast. Okay.
That is IL level fast of amazing.
So we're gonna save warp back to the start, do a bit of backtracking, and then we're gonna spam spinner a lot, the new item. So if you have any incentives or announcements, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. I've got $20 with a little correction, actually. Username says, actually, Zant isn't the one who injures Midna. The Light Spirit tries to attack Zant, but Zant turns the attack on both Link and Midna. Still, there's a lot of manhandling, and Link and Midna are severely outmatched. So, a little correction for you, FX. Also wanted to remind everybody that that $20 went toward the Mario Kart bonus run, but also... Before that, the Pokemon Gold any percent run has a bid war for naming the Totodile. Right now, Croissant is in the lead at $365. But if you want to help name the Totodile, now's your chance. Head on over, get those donations in.
Cool. Thanks so much for the donations, guys. Also for the story-wise, yeah, it's like the Zant forces Midna to be engulfed by the Light Spirit's attack, basically. Which,
and in her current state where she is, she's not able to exist on that plane.
You can help us.
Like she's not supposed to be.
Sorry,
because before the ending of MDH, where Zelda pretty much gives her like the light to actually be able to be on this plane, her being hit by that light's pretty dramatic towards her. Since she's one of the Twilight, she can't be really touched by that light. I mean, the Light Spirits literally saved the world from Twilight. Yeah, don't take that way. Don't take that way.
Hang on, let me just quickly... I've never done that before. That's insane. Alright. Twitch chat, can you help me press A? I need your help. I need to mash A a lot here. I could really use your help. Just press A, please.
Yeah, they invented a great way of progressing the game known as mashing with the spinner. I don't know why TP was like, you know, what should we use the spinner for? Let's make it mash. We're gonna do this 3 to 4 times in the run.
We're just gonna keep on mashing. There we go. Doing it.
And thank you, TP.
Oh, we did it. Let me just do this safely. There we go. Nice camera, that's very useful. We're backwards for some reason. That's... Okay.
Alright, so now we're gonna see the fight Stallard.
Ah yeah, someone actually asked earlier in the donations if I was gonna do Stallard skip. My route can't do that. You need bombs to do Stallard skip, so I will not be showing that off.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the current route that is done, bombs are 100% mandatory. It literally is a bomb boost to get out. Pretty essentially, it's a bomb boost out of a claw shot.
They said we're gonna fight him, and the fight is actually pretty cool. So you get more gameplay to enjoy it. It seems like a good thing to me.
Stellar's fight's actually pretty interesting. I love Stellar's skip that's come into creation. Hey, good stuff. You somehow did the needle there. Stellar's fight's pretty interesting. This phase, not as much. It's kind of a bit more of an art.
What?
Alright, FX, why are you cheating? Why did you find the trap? Where have you been hiding?
Easy game.
So, most of the time, those guards would push you and never let you through. I am amazed that you somehow had the angle where you hit the guy's head and made it through, killed both of them, and killed Sally.
I've never seen that anywhere.
Any people from the TP Discord, someone clip that, post that. Apparently we've been doing Stallard wrong.
We just need to get good, apparently.
Didn't know that existed, don't I?
Alright. So we're gonna do the second phase. We're gonna try and skip through it. Oh, sorry. So what we're gonna be doing, we can do 5 intentionally bad rolls. So we're gonna make them intentionally not frame perfect, and that will put us in a good position to try and set up 5, 6. There we go. Nice.
Boom. And that's Snow's early Stallard knockdown. And now, luckily enough, if you just spin attack all of Stallard, I mean, casually, if you can do quick spins, go ahead, try it at home. You can quick spin Stallard and kill him in 1 cycle. Very easy.
So the way this worked out is Stallard will hover around you, but when he's firing the ball of fire, he actually doesn't move for a little bit. So you can actually quickly kind of surprise him, or surprise the AI by quickly getting on the railing right as he fires, and he won't move for a little bit. That's just enough time to get close to him, to just knock him off instantly, and you could just skip the entire phase, because normally you're supposed to ride the entire railing all the way up and up and up, but this way you just don't. I'm gonna grab this heart.
Also, no, interesting thing about the spinner, the spinner has different speeds depending on which room you're in. This room, like, the spinner go burr, it go crazy. Look how fast it goes.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just have that in like most of the areas. It would have been so much more fun if they just set that as its base speed. Most places.
Yeah, I don't.
In most places, it goes slower than anything else in the game.
It's a bit unfortunate because it's such a cool item, but it's kind of useless because they just made it really bad everywhere, other than the Stallard room. It's a shame.
A good idea, wasted opportunities though.
Like they have parts in the overworld where it's useful, but it's more like they're forcing you to use it with the railings, unless they're like letting you use it for being cool transport, right? You could have
honestly, they should have just made it. They should have made it opponent speed, just make it go crazy fast.
Apparently I bonked.
Oh.
I've never bonked there, but okay. So we're trying to get this guy to get close. There we go. Good. All right. Nice. So we're trying to kill these guys all at the same time, or rather, the last 2 need to die at the same time. And
real quick, we're gonna skip a pretty major cutscene. As you're gonna see, in order to warp, FX is gonna be using map warping. Because he's skipping this cutscene, Minna's gonna constantly, if he tries to warp away, is gonna try and say, hey, no, you need to do this. You need to go to Mirror Twilight, blah, 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 all this. We don't want to get that cutscene. We can pretty much essentially skip it as long as we can map warp away.
Yeah.
And that cutscene.
Oh yeah, you can do it. Sure. No worries.
I was gonna say that cutscene is actually a major part of the plot that we will never see. That's pretty much the point where the sages tell you, we tried to kill Ganondorf, we shot him with a sword, and then he killed one of the sages. And then instead we just chickened out and we sent him to Twilight Realm. And that's kind of the reason why Zant and many of the others, or why Zant is given power by Ganon. And why Ganon's kind of able to go and come back and plot his way back in. Real quick, FX is going to be doing a trick known as See in the Sky, or early See in the Sky, blah, blah, blah. It's a pretty easy clip to do, where you just need a decent angle, and then pretty much right as you start moving right, as you saw he was holding L target and running right there. If you turn the wolf right as you start going right, you'll clip in. It's very easy. It's probably one of the other easiest tricks you can pick up in this game. And you skip the whole entire Skybook quest. Everything. And as long as you have map warping.
And Snowpeak. You skip everything.
You skip, yeah, unmeasurable amounts of time. And honestly, you could skip the ball and chain up to this point. The only reason you need the ball and chain is Zant. Zant's going to be your only reason for really needing the ball and chain.
Alright, and this is why we need 300 rupees. But...
Thank you, Fire. And we get one of the best cutscenes in the game.
We're gonna get a real jammer. So. If you're ready for it, you can spam whatever emote you like for music.
Yeah, we cat jammed this.
Well,
how many days does this take him? Is it 3 days he's working on his cannon non-stop?
He just takes his time, I guess, but also it's a massive cannon. So to be honest, I mean, for a rush order.
I mean, man's a Giga Chat. Honestly, we pay 300 rubies for a lot worse things, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
It
we pay
still
like
surprises-
100. We pay like 100 for a bag, so this is actually kind of nice of him.
Still surprised. I mean, we pay 100 for a bottle.
True, with some oil in it though. It has some oil in it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, a cannon to a bottle with oil. Like,
That seems about right.
Fire surprisingly is one of the most background characters in the Zelda franchise who also literally, as we've seen now, that is the third section of the game where he is gated. The only way to access this section is with fire.
All right, so now we're in the city in the sky, which is actually the birthplace of the Uka, which is what Uko is a part of. They're kind of, you know, they're supposed to be ancestors of the Hylians, so take that as you will. Apparently we're chickens in this game.
There's some pretty interesting lore between these two and the connection that they have with the Hylians and the goddess. It's pretty interesting. They're like a holy sacred tribe, pretty much. This dungeon is pretty much one of the funnest places in the speedrun, in my opinion, and a lot of runners would agree. This is where you see the abuse of a lot of tricks, LJAs, and really good movement. There's gonna be a lot of fun sections here.
So we
and
have a good
there's a
wind
decent.
cycle, but,
Oh, nice! You actually got good wind cycle. Everything's really nice here. There's gonna be some wind cycle RNG. It's not super game-breaking bonk.
I'm gonna try and explain this as I go. So we're gonna throw this boomerang immediately to our right, because we want to land far away from the hamster to our left, because he otherwise will knock us down. Jump again, and then we want this guy to notice us, so that we can just go around him. Didn't quite work out as I wanted, but that's okay. We'll get close to this door, transform, and hopefully we can just press A. No, we need to be a bit closer.
Interestingly enough, there's a giant fan in the center room that turns on if you go a little bit too close to the door. So as human, it'll always turn on, but as wolf, since our box is a bit more, we're able to open that door from a bit further away. We actually never turn on that fan. That's going to be really nice to go get the boss key pretty much for scot-free.
Yeah, so I could go get the boss key right now, but I'm choosing not to. It's technically equal, but getting the boss key first is a little awkward in terms of the movement you have to do to make it equal. So we're just gonna press A a bunch. And
I think in equips it's really awkward. Actually, no, it should have just straight up be the same, always.
Yeah,
that is weird. It just feels awkward to go get it, I guess.
So I timed it out and I did a video on it as well. It's like, basically, I think it's like within half a second of each other, if I remember. But yeah, the movement to make it equal is awkward. So, practically speaking, this is better. Yeah, we're just gonna go grab the small key. We're gonna skip a cutscene. And
you don't want to skip the small key?
I would love to, but I'm not a.
Unfortunately, only the legend task can do something like this. There is some crazy, like I said before, checking out the task. It's pretty interesting. There is some insane stuff that it does.
I want to touch on that because very often people will say like, "Oh, this is task only," right? So I think it bears merit to say why we say it's task only. The way you can skip this small key requires multiple frame perfect, position perfect, double frame perfect, jump attack, bomb boost kind of stuff. It's just it would just completely inhuman. You would need a setup to do it, but if you were to go for setups for that kind of stuff, and let's assume that such a setup exists, you would just be slower. Because it only saves a couple seconds to do it to begin with.
It saves an okay amount of time, I thought. If you were to do it in task levels, it saves an okay amount.
It's like half a minute. If for a task, it's like half a minute.
Yeah, and if you were doing setups, you'd probably not save much at all. Probably none.
And all of it would be double, like it would all be frame perfect and position perfect, like yeah.
Yep. All of it, pretty much, you're doing a bunch of perfect L slides to move actors. It's quite crazy. It's crazy that it exists, honestly.
We're gonna press A couple more times for one last time, guys.
They really like this gimmick. They're like, how do we use the spinner? Well, why don't we make you spam it and use it as a switch? Get a sword to cancel out early too.
Ah, yeah, I should have the boomerang there. I keep forgetting. I used to do it when I was grinding ILs for this. I would equip boomerang there to cancel the spinner, but I'm not quite on my game anymore, I guess. So we have a couple more rooms to go through before the mini boss, and all of them are pretty quick actually. So we'll try to get through them. So we're gonna roll to the right here. You're supposed to go left. We're gonna go right. Avoid this Helmasaur. Throw the boomerang quickly before the Helmasaur turns around to go get us again. Jump across. Get through this door. And we have another.
A lot of these rooms are gonna be extremely fast. Right here, he's gonna roll around. He's gonna do a jump off, and then he's gonna do a jump and jump slash. Come over here, LJA.
I tried.
Oh, he's going for jump slash setup actually.
I'm only gonna try that once. I'm not doing it again. That saves a small amount of time if you get it first try. But
I know that is a pretty ballsy shot to go for. Is the jump slash there?
you have to in glitchless.
Jump slash. Yeah, jump slashing gives you just enough room. The LJ is really safe there. Wow, that Keese really wanted you.
Okay, this is looking pretty interesting. Ugh, I barely made that. What the? All right then. Okay, there's a.
We're gonna go into this room.
Didn't get it.
Feels.
That's unfortunate. Doesn't really matter too much. I like when I get it.
This room, very easy to complete. You just spin attack there. Goes off both of them pretty instantly. They fall off into the void.
We need to wait for this gate to open, so just have a quick breather and then we just move on our way. We need to, we're introducing this new mechanic where we have to lower these metal balls to activate some fans. But we're going to try to skip most of that. We're just going to pick up an Uka here.
Actually, yeah, wait a second too. If you go too early here, you'll beat the fan cycle and not get boosted up.
Alright, so in this room, you're supposed to lower some of those iron orbs the same way that we just did, but we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to skip ahead. The way we're going to do it is with a pretty precise setup. It's, I say precise, it's fairly lenient, but you need to know what you're doing. So
it's not too bad. Anyone who's seen Wind Waker and how a lot of the leaf jumps work, or grabbing onto a ledge with the leaf, very similar to that.
So just like that, we skip the entire room. We skip every puzzle in that room, and I have one more. How much health do I have?
So okay, this room we skip pretty much all of this. We're gonna grab a. Oh, you're going for jump slash.
I just completely messed this up, but that's okay. We'll just do this. That works.
There's a couple ways to do that. Most people will go pick up the Oko and they're gonna just iron boots and float all the way down. Some people, there's a precise jump slash that literally lands you all the way down there.
Yeah.
And then FX did the backup too, missing the jump slash setup.
So my angle was off, so I had to go for a backup there. Oh, I wasn't. Okay. So now we have a mini boss, but we're gonna try and skip it. This one I'll just keep trying over and over. But the way you skip it is with a. Oh, that's, how can I do this? That's fine. This is, don't usually do this.
You're gonna walk in the cutscene.
Yeah.
This is known as Ariafa skip, so we're gonna skip doing this fight.
I'll just quickly reset this.
You're gonna need some pretty decent setups in this fight in order for it to not be a little weird. If you are in a weird position, you can actually void out if you get this trick anyway. So we're gonna do some rolls just to try and, well, rolls, sword slashes, there's a bunch of ways to actually handle this. And he's going to be going for pretty much a pixel-perfect trick here, where you need an exact shot, which I've just got there.
There we go. Yeah, there's only one line of pixels that you can close shot to. We got it. So this text is, by the way, super long on German. It keeps going and going.
This is one of the reasons that makes German not crazy faster. English has a much faster text box there.
Yeah.
The only reason German's actually faster is because it has some broken text boxes that you can instantly mash through.
So I typed
on this route specifically,
recently, and that's not quite true. German saves like 2 seconds for Zora Armor as well.
Oh, so for this route it gives and takes. 'Cause I know the bomb bag from the Goron is where it saves time for the broken text box. Which is one of the major reasons why German
saves. It's 3 seconds for the bomb bag actually compared to English, and then
that is pretty major time.
Yeah, that's a big deal for Twilight Princess, by the way. Generally speaking, language differences are very minor. 3 seconds is a lot. So for the optimal route, German saves around 5 seconds, and for my route, it's a little bit less, but it's still a little bit quicker. So we ended up playing the fastest language. That's what you guys donated for, so I don't mind. I'll be good with that. So now we can just go to the boss key. As we mentioned, this fan in the middle of the room is supposed to be turned on normally when you're playing casually, but instead it's not, because we skipped that trigger early when we transformed into a wolf to open the door. Let's see if I can get this set up for me. So I like to just roll up right here, and it usually works out for me. Let's see if it handles properly.
Yep. You're pretty golden, alright.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So we're able to claw shot up here with a bit of a precise claw shot. Use our favorite trick in the world, LJA. And guess what? We got the boss key. By the way, lag? Unavoidable.
Anyone?
This room lags like crazy. Don't even talk to me. If the fan's on, it's even worse.
It's so bad. Alright, boss key. There you go. Master Schlüssel.
Weirdly enough, pots can teleport in this room too. Awkwardly. Don't know why. Actually, I kind of want to message them people and figure out why.
So now we need to move to the final boss, but we didn't turn on the fans here. So normally these would be spinning and turning around and all that, but we're instead gonna do some pretty visually impressive stuff here.
Like we said, favorite trick out here is going to be LJA. Also, these fans, if you aim straight for the top of them, you're able to climb straight up them. If you're going from an incline above them, you have to be looking down up onto that. We're going to see him line up for this LJA here, which is going to get him directly to the door. Looks very good.
All right, there we go. Yeah, it looks... I always like that one because it's visually pretty cool. You just launch yourself across the chasm. But very easy to do, casually as well. Like, I would definitely recommend you just try it out. If you think it looks cool, just load up a save file, try it out.
This room has some very interesting cycle stuff. So from the start of this room, he's going to be trying to meet a pretty particular cycle. It's not too demanding at the start. Near the end, it's going to get much more demanding.
Using boots there to quickly drop. Like, because when you equip boots in the air, you lose height slightly faster, and it makes that a little easier to get.
FX is going to claw shot to a specific area just so that he can have a better chance at claw shotting up to here on that cycle, which he just did. That is quick fan tower.
So that is the quick fan cycle. There is a faster cycle, but you have to do, again, multiple position perfect, pixel perfect stuff, which for RTA
Nah,
really... So what you're talking about,
you're talking about
you have a different one. Yeah,
the bottom half.
There's also like
the bottom half side.
Yeah, you have a half-second time saver, which is, yeah, you could do that. It's not task only. But there is left side, which is definitely task only.
There is a combination of both of them, and it saves you a lot of time if you do both. The one that's only half a second becomes more in that version. It's weird. If you do them in tangent with each other, it's a little crazy.
Alright, I'll quickly explain this boss fight and then we can maybe move to some announcements or incentives, donations maybe. What we're going to be doing is we're going to drag Orgrok down to the ground with our own boots on, and we'll destroy his armor. We just need to do it twice and then we'll be good. So with that, go ahead. Host?
I have 15. Oh yeah, I have $15 for you from Dan saying I love Zelda and left-handed Link. Great job manhandling that innocent garden Star-Lord, by the way. So thank you for that. And I also just got a $100 donation from Joey Mack saying, here's a donation from the great state of Texas. Thanks to everyone at ESA and the runners for raising money for a good cause and doing it so fast. Thank you very much, both of you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you.
It just goes a long way. Like,
Is there more time?
Yeah, we're like a
plenty.
minute here. We're like
Tons.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that later on to this morning at 11, we are opening up the drawing for the Cuphead mug. So that's a $10 minimum donation. If you donate $10 at all between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. today, you will be entered to win that. And then at 2 p.m., we're opening a drawing for a Demon Souls metal poster. That's a $15 minimum donation, but again, between 2 p.m. and 2 a.m., donate $15, you'll be entered in to win that.
Oh, sweet. Well, I mean, those are very lenient donations, right? So like $10, $15. I'm sure if you eat out one less time, you could join in on that if you want to, of course. All right, we're gonna quickly void out here. the reason we void out is to reset Argor's position in the air, and this saves like a second, but yeah.
It's gonna be handy for what we're about to do here though. Resetting his position is nice. So we're gonna claw up here, and we're gonna do a pretty standardized setup. It's okay, you caught it before he roared. When he roars, we're pretty much going to be going for quick cycles to flame cancel him.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make the game think that I fell off by lowering myself on the chain with wearing iron boots. And then Argor will stop breathing fire, and that just lets me get around to his back immediately. And we're just gonna do that 3 times. But the 3rd time we do it, we need to adjust a little bit because he actually has a bit of a shift in how he handles.
Yep, Cycle 1 and Cycle 2 very free and not too hard to pick up on your own time. Cycle 3 can be a bit finicky on the timing and what it needs to be, what needs to be done for it. So we roar, claw shot up, claw shot 4 times, or after he starts, you're gonna claw shot over, go to his back, his flames cancel, and you're easily able to get onto him. Blowing on that chain there also provides makes the trick much more lenient. Nice.
Good. So we need to do it 1 more time, but the final time we get up there, he's actually going to breathe fire twice. So what we're going to do is we're going to let him breathe once, and then the second one we'll cancel it in a different way.
Interestingly enough, on the more technical level, it's pretty much going to trick him into thinking that we've been hit, or where we kind of are, tricks him into stopping his fire and allowing us to go through. We're going to go all the way around.
So this one, we'll just wait
and then pretty much go under his fire.
We're just going to wait for him to start breathing, unequip the boots, and then we'll make him think again we fell, and we'll just close it onto his back. There we go. Boss fight over. Boom. Also, fun fact, if you get hit by fire, you take like 30 hearts of damage when you're wearing Zora Armor, so it's...
Yeah, Zora Armor is very weak to fire. You are like a grass type, you're technically with a water tunic, but you're like a grass type Pokemon, it just does a lot of damage.
Yeah. It's great. When I started playing this game, I wasn't very good at this boss fight, and I just kept dying. Because no matter how much health you have, it's a one-shot if you're wearing Zora Armor. And I was very stubborn and didn't want to take it off because it looks cool. So, what can I say?
It does look cool, and it saves time to keep it. It genuinely does.
Yeah, if you unequip it, you're losing time. Because I need it again later.
You are gonna need it again. After that, you're free to take it off, but it still loses time to have to menu and do it.
Right, so we have our mirror shard, our single mirror shard, but the game will think that we have all of them because this is the final one. Similar to how Keaton explained with the fused shadows, the game only checks for the final one. For the pose, that it doesn't check the first one. Here, it also only checks for the final mirror shard, and then it thinks, oh well, you can just go ahead and go to the Palace of Twilight. So that's what we're gonna go do. I'm gonna go have a quick look at what the timer is like. Oh, we're plenty good. That's fine.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a quick reference for how we're doing, so I know what I can do and what I can't do.
So coming up here, to continue the story, now we've got the Mirror of Twilight pretty much completed in TB's eyes. We got it. We need to put on this iron boots real quick so that we can make sure we land on a bridge for a quick TP. If you don't do this, you're gonna land in the water and have to swim all the way around.
Yeah, we get
here.
4 frames here. 4 frames?
This is pretty much mash and you get it for free.
Nice item wheel.
Oh yeah, I thought you wanted to read the.
I really
wanted to read
that
the
info for the double claws. Yeah, I was wondering what they did, but because I don't speak German, right? So I had to read.
Yeah, you know, Bussa, if you show me again, I might be able to get your translation real quick.
All right, so now we're gonna get from no mirror to complete mirror, all of a sudden.
And we officially skipped that whole original cutscene with the sages trying to kill Xant. That's completely gone now. And our warping is still messed up. It will forever be messed up. But we only have to warp 1 more time.
I can skip that cutscene. Let me just go ahead and skip the cutscene.
Hey man, it's okay. I've never skipped that canon. I haven't skipped one of the canon cutscenes in my whole entire life. I always like to watch it.
It's good fun.
Sometimes there's some good cutscenes in this game, you know?
Yeah.
You skip them too often.
Just play the movie like Honorakas.
We should have a category that's watch all cutscenes.
Yeah, no, there is. It's called We 200% Bug Limit the movie.
Why is it in Wii? Why does it have to be Wii version?
Because it's the casual game. The alternative name that I gave to that was Let's Play RTA.
Let's play RTA. That does sound like a pretty fun version.
It's awesome.
Going through here, this is Palace of Twilight is pretty much our endgame dungeon. This is way harder than Hyrule Castle too. So treat this is pretty much what you would call the final boss dungeon of this game. Hyrule Castle, you're gonna watch in like it's gonna feel like you blinked and we're up again.
Whoops. Got a little confused there. So fun fact.
This dungeon is
I'm pretty good at this dungeon, and it's my favorite one. So let me just try and make sure I don't screw it up.
This dungeon is a really big mix over Iron Boots tech, really quick claw shotting, really quick movement. How he's hitting these Zant heads twice is actually some pretty good stuff. How he landed right by the chest is actually pretty precise movement too. All of these things are pretty tight windows and leads up to lots of major time saves or time losses in this dungeon specifically.
Yeah, so that Zant head specifically, that's cool. That game does that sometimes. Okay, cool. Let me just
Okay.
All right, so the Zant head there is actually a little bit RNG in where he spawns, and I got bad RNG. But you can work around it. This is not what we're doing here. We're gonna do this. There we go. So it's pretty interesting because no matter where the head spawns, you can get very close to the chest. But you need to know each pattern and what type of movement you have to pull off to get there. So even if you get the bad RNG, you can still make it. It's just more annoying. Alright, so this is our first mini-boss. There are actually 2 mini-bosses in this dungeon. It's the same mini-boss twice, but either way. So quickly equip your Iron Boots there to drop to the ground faster, because Link moves quicker on the ground.
Yeah, you can somehow, without any of his hands, you can put on the Iron Boots. Oh, no.
Oh, this is terrible.
It's the worst one. It's the worst RNG too.
This is definitely the worst one. Can I get to him? No, I can't. Oh, there he is. Cool. Okay, I can get him. Can I? No? Okay then. Never mind. Yeah, this is terrible. Really, really unfortunate stuff because he's every time he's also spawning really far away every time. That's super annoying. Okay. Please stop.
That's okay. Now you should be fine. If
he's
already attacked, he won't.
Okay.
If he's already attacked, he's not going to attack again. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing just enough damage here to Zant so that he doesn't teleport away.
I'm really confused with the audio. Okay, we should be okay. Okay. I think the way I'm really used to my own headset, which has like a different audio balance maybe. It doesn't really matter that much, but this fight I'm listening for where he spawns, so not playing too well.
This is interestingly enough, TP has a couple sections where we use audio cues. Actually, the Styler Knockdown, some people use some audio cues for it too.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. This fight is 100% pretty reliant on audio. I know some people actually.
There's a way to do it without, but I don't like it.
There's some pan camera shots, but it's really easy to rely on the audio to tell you where he is. The game has decent surround sound. We'll give you good detail onto where he is.
Yeah, it's usually really good. I think I just misinterpreted what I was hearing. It's possible. We'll just have to try again on the second one because we fight the same boss twice in this dungeon. All right, so we need to escort this orb back to the main hub. I think that should work.
We're gonna see some pretty cool. Oh my goodness! I can't believe the ball literally went past it and then rolled back around into it. All right.
It does that sometimes. It's strange.
Yeah, the balls in this dungeon can be a bit weird. We have a nice hand that's chasing after us the whole entire time. Weird how they turn this enemy.
Hands, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What are they usually called?
I don't know either, but I know.
I can't remember the name that they use for Ocarina. They're in a bunch of the games where they take you to the beginning of the dungeon, but these ones just act different.
Yeah, these only take the orb from you.
Oh, Floor Master. They're known as Floor Masters. I'm pretty sure.
That might be it. So yeah, they actually stop chasing you once you get to the central hub, which is nice. And the thing is that if they catch you, they just take the orb from you, and they get all the way back to where they were holding the orb at first, so you lose a ton of time. Luckily, it's very lenient. We usually don't have to do that. Let me just put the boomerang here. Perfect. This is good positioning. We're going to throw the boomerang and immediately jump after it. Normally we wait for it to turn back, but here we're not going to wait for it. We're just going to jump right as it starts to turn, and we'll just land right on the other side.
Yeah, but we have the power of the LJA. We don't really need to wait for much. We're going to see some really interesting LJAs coming up in the second half of this dungeon. This dungeon, pretty much you break it up into two parts. Collecting the orbs and then rushing the Zant. This is the first half of the dungeon. We're about halfway through this section.
Please, dude. Oh.
That Keese is going to absolutely wreck your life. I'm so sorry.
There you go.
He's going to go for a second one, too.
Let me just do this instead. Go. Now,
I don't know what this does to the
messed
cycle.
up as well. Yeah, the cycle is gone. I'm going to have to just do something random. This is fine. I'll just wait here.
Actually, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, I'll just wait here. Like, this one, I think. Just have to see where he goes.
Yeah. Pray he gives a good RNG.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's not that bad. That's actually very, very recoverable.
Yeah,
that's not that bad.
That's not too bad. We only lost one cycle.
That room can bleed minutes, so you'll take it, you know. That head can spawn all the way back at the start, pretty much, and make you go platform all the way back. He can spawn while you're jumping and push you off, pretty much. He is quite annoying.
I've had it happen a couple of times. Whenever you see it happen to everyone, it's always like, oh, that's. I'm so sorry. Dude.
It happens too often in races. Not gonna lie.
But yeah, there's a way to make that room very consistent. It's just you need to be very precise and make sure.
We're gonna see the supercharge is gonna hit twice there. It's pretty cool when you get that based off your position. Very good, double hits.
I think I'm not gonna get this because yeah, okay. So I transform to 8, and then the cutscene will play right after. What I wanted to do was close shot before the cutscene, like right there. But that's a minor thing.
You can claw shot up while the cutscene is playing, which saves you a bit of time.
Alright, so here we have another long jump coming up. We're gonna aim at the side of the wall to make the boomerang go out of bounds. Because the way out of bounds works in this dungeon is a little bit different than in other dungeons. So we're just gonna have to wait here. There we go. Even if the boomerang seems out of bounds sometimes, it won't be. There's a lot of extending terrain that you can't see because there's walls in front of it. So you kind of have to just know where the terrain stops and aim your boomerang to go over that part where it will be out of bounds. We'll be doing it a couple more times later on.
We'll be seeing some cool out of bounds LJAs coming up really soon.
Okay, so the sound is mirrored for some reason. Interesting. Okay, so it's this way. Yeah.
Good RNG on attack, you're fine.
I thought I heard him on. Okay.
I did not hear that at all.
Oh, cool! Double hit. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you got a double hit because it lagged your spin attack because you killed enemies.
It's
That's
interesting.
Nice.
When he spawns enemies, you're technically able to save time because your spin attack will be delayed by frames due to hit lag, and then you can hit him several times with the same spin attack. Oh wait, hang on, I need to go here. But yeah, not optimal obviously. it's a nice little bonus if you do end up in a position like that, which is always fun. So I hate this orb drop. I'm really bad at it. That worked out. The one guy.
Oh, you didn't get the watcher up there. I like taking him up there in the stairs with me.
That's annoying.
That L slide just doesn't work if you have anything up there.
If there's any enemy near the stairs, you just can't do anything with it. Alright, so here's for the most difficult orb throw in the entire run. We're gonna run forwards, and then we're gonna throw the orb forwards.
Be careful.
I'll have to try.
This angle's looking a little bad.
Yeah, worst angle ever.
Alright. You know, that was pretty sketchy. I don't know how that worked.
It just barely worked out. Let me just quickly take that.
So this watcher over here likes to move it too.
Yeah, he likes to push it, but this time he was nice to me.
I've had him push it completely square off. Like,
oh yeah,
he does some fucking
and
stuff.
then if you're really unlucky, he'll also the orb will just magnet it back as you close shot towards where it is currently, and then you just miss over and over. It's great.
So back in this room again.
There we go.
It's a good amount of just kind of platforming. Interesting that Zelda game is platforming. It's not all too bad.
I would have liked the heart to
We
be in
killed-
front of me, but
We killed that Keys to try and avoid what that second Keys actually went and did, which was trying to attack us.
it's interesting because if you in my IL attempts, I just left them alone every single time because you don't need the health, and they'll just not attack you if you just leave them alone at all. The weird thing is, I kind of want the health here, but I never get it when I do any percent.
Yeah, I feel like I see so many people, they like... I feel like it's not easy to get the health. It never is. There's more health, too, that you get. If you're really desperate, it's worth it, but... At this point in the game, it's not really any biggie.
Alright.
Now we're transitioning into the second half of...
We're collecting our butter knife, and then we'll just move on.
This butter knife, it's gonna feel... Right now, yeah, it looks a little bit like butter, but it's gonna also cut anything that's Twilight related, like it's butter. All Twilight enemies die in a hit now. They die. There is no counterplay.
Yeah.
We cheat.
Everything in Twilight will instantly die, except for Zant. So the focus of this
This is a good time to
isn't-
jump in.
Yeah, go ahead, actually.
I do just have a $100 donation from Anonymous, and that actually puts us up over $66,000.
Yo, let's go.
And yeah, and that $100 also went towards the Mario Kart incentive. So that means we are at $1,100, right at 11% of the way to there. And that run is later tonight. Yes, it is later tonight, so we do still have plenty of time to get that met.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of time. Should be.
Yeah,
Well, no
you guys have pretty much... You have the full day, and we already saw in this one run, we saw a lot of it already go up. Yeah, the orb's gonna make it, it's just taking its time. Those orb throws are kind of precise and also really awkward to do it, because you want to delay the first one to get it.
The analog glitch. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a little
It's not
brutal.
TP
That's
if you
a-
don't get one.
Okay, that heart was important. That one's good. Now we feel safe. These are going to be a couple more of the LGAs where FX is going to throw it in kind of precise areas so that he makes sure that the boomerang goes out of bounds there. Your position, where you're standing, everything kind of matters to get the good results for it. Very good kills
Are you
here.
serious? Okay, I'm gonna have to do.
You don't
I'm
need
gonna
them.
Just
They're
look for
fine.
hearts somewhere. I like to have more usually. But 2.5 is, or 3.5, right? 2.5.
Go.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, if you're... there's a heart right over there. Ah, you're perfect now.
Yeah.
You can still go for the LGA too. This is another one. He has got to be careful here because behind... You saw how the boomerang went outside, out of bounds, behind the door. Actually, behind those doors, you see that little path that you're walking. That actually counts as an actual path, so it'll cancel your LGA if you do the jump there. So you have to kind of wait for it to go after it.
yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about how LJs don't really work or don't abide by the same rules in here. You have to be really careful with when you jump. Ow.
Oh, man. You just take a half a heart? I thought, for a second, I thought he took a full heart. I was like, dang, he hurt.
Oh no, please don't. Can we not do this today, game? What are the Kargoks doing here? I actually despise when this happens because I love doing the LJ, but I'm unable to do it now because the Kargok.
Yeah, if you get bullied by the Kagroks, there's no point. So this beginning section seems really calm, like there was nothing much going on. After he does this jump slash over here to reset, pretty much go to the beginning of the room. He's gonna be on a pretty major timer here, trying to kill these heads and also dodge them, going up here and getting the Moss Key. Good claw shot up.
No carb troll, please. Sometimes there will be Kargok just flying up through the ground we're standing on now, and you get really annoyed. But this seems to work out. Okay, cool.
And he makes the exact cycle he wants to. You did get hit.
The hit lag.
There might be a heart that spawns behind you.
Yeah, there might be a hard spot, but I don't really need health anymore. But it would be nice to have it just in case.
It would be nice for safety. You don't
So-
need one.
Yeah, everything hurts really bad in this dungeon, so... no hearts, okay.
That's a bit
alright.
brutal. This room is also going to be another segment where it's pretty cycle-based. You need some good, clean movement. Well,
This is my favorite room.
It's not-
in the entire run.
it's very fun. This is probably one of the more advanced rooms to learn. Very, very fun and very rewarding to put your time into. Getting this early cycle saves a good chunk of time.
Okay, that's fine.
You know, you backed up with a swag quick spin, you know? Nice.
So, yeah, we need to make a cycle. I'm gonna look at a visual here. Okay, good.
OJ.
What?
Platform.
Link, why would you do this to me? You know what? Let's just reset the room. I want to show this.
Does resetting the room even reset? Okay, and you get a. That's a 1 in 3 chance.
It doesn't reset the messengers, but I'll be able to get the cycle that I want to show off.
I was surprised that not only happened, but then you got a 1 in 3 20 ruby, huh?
Like, this is
Go
not
figure.
this is not faster in any way. I just want to show off the cycle. That's why. You're just trying again. Also, yeah, I was looking for a heart. I got a rupee instead. Solid stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one of the pots that has there are a couple pots in this game that, of course, pots are RNG. So there's most of the ones with 20 rubies have a chance of being 20, a fairy, or nothing. You got the 20, which is actually a time loss over both of the others.
Here. Okay. Link didn't jump off of the side arm. Don't kill me, please. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be early now as well. Like, really early.
So the platform to the right that you guys see is the platform that he's trying to make the cycle for. Starting out, it can be pretty brutal. When you're learning the game, those are some nice hearts.
Yeah, we're early on the cycle anyway, so...
Yeah, you're ahead of cycle. You're not having the watchers or anything.
Yeah,
You're
no
very fine.
messengers. I think those will work out. 'Cause
Messengers. I always call them watchers.
Oh, look at that. There you go.
Yep. Nice ending. You gotta kill all the Zant heads in this room, get the final key. Now we're up to... That's pretty much the end of most of the hard parts of this dungeon. If there's any donations you want to come in, you're free to.
I would like to take this time just to say that ESA is raising money for Alzheimer Fonden this year, the Swedish fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and research for other dementia-related diseases. The goal of Alzheimer Fonden is to be an important research financer in this work. The absence of effective medicines, it is important to research the best preventative measures for Alzheimer's disease. So all of your donations this year are going towards a great cause, and you got tons of great prizes you can be entered to win, and all of the great incentives and bid wars as well. So don't be afraid to donate, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had amazing support so far this run. We can keep it up for a little bit longer, right, guys? We have like another half an hour.
Yep. We've had some pretty good strides in the donations for the run so far, and thank you guys so much for your generosity. We still got a little bit left in the run, not too much more, but
yeah. So upcoming is probably what everybody says is the coolest boss fight in this game, in the speedrun as well.
I mean,
I
I think most people say this is one of the coolest boss fights in the franchise. Actually, he's pretty high rated.
yeah, this is really dope. So enjoy. We're gonna try and skip some cycles, but we'll have to see.
I got some explanations for these cycle skips. So first of all, Zant's probably one of the cooler fights in the franchise due to the fact that not only do you fight Zant, but you kind of get to fight him in multiple of the past settings that you have, and he kind of goes through a lot of the whole entire game. So kind of like a whole summary of the places that you've been, remixes of the songs with Zant's version. Very interesting how they set this boss fight up, and a lot of the songs in here end up being amazing. We first have Diababa's room, which we never fought Diababa. And like I was saying before, this is the boss fight that only the 4th hit matters in this fight. All of the damage does not matter. It does nothing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to line up my my final hits rather than trying to get full combos.
Yep. Over here we're gonna see him start cancel a combo and try and a little bit earlier, right?
Ah, I had the wrong combo. That's fine.
That's rough.
He trolled me there. That's alright.
In here there's a 1 cycle, but it is 2 frames. Is a little brutal to go for.
There we go.
Nice. Going to the next section. In the other route, this is another slightly stressful area. Once you're used to it, it's not that bad. Where we use the bomb tricks to keep our air. With Zora Armor, this is extremely free and fun. There is no stress in this area.
Alright then, cool combo. What's that?
And in TP, your sword, where your analog stick is, depends on what slashes you're gonna get. And actually, this can change up your full entire combo. So the fastest combo that we do in the game is left, right, forward, back, and it's just straight up the fastest combo. It does save a good amount of time every time it's done. Runners were able to successfully do this in most portions of this fight. We do save a good chunk in the Zan fight. Which we just saw FX do right there. That was a left, right, forward, back.
Also, I skipped.
I think right, left, forward
with the
yeah
grab, which is technically possible without Zora Armor, but I've never seen anyone do it other than.
It's a lot harder to get.
Bonk, bonk,
I feels bad about these bonks, by the way.
Yeah. Why did I do double spin attack? I don't know. Oh well. Alright, so we're gonna have a little bit of fun here.
This is Blizzetta, another phase we didn't even see. Another fight that we don't see in this run, unfortunately. But all the way back to Snow Peak runes. Fun facts about this fight too, this is the only reason that we need a ball and chain in the run. Zan exclusively is the one reason that we picked this thing up.
Yeah, it's only this phase as well. This is the only one where
yep, nothing else. Those big toes that Zan has, apparently nothing can hurt them but, you know, a nice ball and chain.
I thought I had a big brain idea once and was like, oh, why don't I use iron boots? It doesn't work.
What if we use the iron boots? It'll work. We'll match them with our iron Tims, you know?
So I'm trying to time my combos here.
Where is he?
There we go.
Oh, there he is.
No, that always works out.
I knew you were dodging. I knew you were dodging him. I just had no clue where he was. So in that final phase, basically FX is baiting him into pretty much walking into the 4th slash. You have just enough time to pretty much do the first 3 slashes of a combo and then turn around and stab him. It looks very satisfying, as we saw there.
So story-wise, because before we thought Zant was this super powerful sorcerer, and in this fight he seems like a bit of a lunatic instead. And the point is that is exactly the point. Like, that he is a lunatic, and the only reason he is king is because he overthrew Midna, who was the rightful ruler, and the way he did it was by having Ganondorf help him. So Ganondorf granted him all this power, and he just doesn't know how to use it because he's not, yeah, he's a bit of a
I can't believe you just spoiled the ending of the game. They hadn't told us in the lore yet that Midna was the old ruler. I can't believe this.
They did tell it. What? That's the freaking sages. They'll tell that at the Mirror of Twilight when you get the final piece. Yeah.
Wait, did they actually say it at the Mirror of Twilight?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah they do. Yeah they do. My bad.
I'll show off quickly, by the way, why I keep zooming in on the map. If I try to map warp now, Midna will just tell me, you can't do that. So I just zoom in and then it's like, that's fine.
It's a part of the whole thing with that cutscene we skipped at the Mirror of Twilight.
Yep.
Midna doesn't want us to warp away.
We're looking.
So we're gonna have to warp.
Alright, I'm gonna go for a pretty precise trick in the next dungeon right at the beginning. I'm only gonna try once. If I don't get it, I'll just move on and do the normal stuff. But before that, we actually have a really long cutscene where we can just freestyle or whatever we want, I guess.
Yeah, there's not gonna be much going on here. Donations, welcome right now. This is a very
If we
good
have
place to do
incentives
it.
that we're still working towards that Mario Kart incentive, of course. So we maybe hear an update on that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I do have $100 going towards that just from an anonymous donor. However, they said this is important research. This disease has affected my partner's family. Thank you for the work you do and to prevent other families from the same loss. Thank you very much, anonymous. That $100, like I said, is going towards that bonus run for the crowd control. And I also want to make sure, FX, you know that we did meet the incentive for Iron Boots in the credits, right?
Oh,
You know
yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah. So don't forget to do that, please.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking if I forgot. I could, like, hack it quickly in, but I'll just not forget. How about that? Keaton, you remind me as well.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I feel like most runners. I feel like doesn't even a world record have it? Like, I feel like that's a legend in TV to do. You have to.
I think Demon doesn't do it because he's actually trying to get good times. But
I can't believe this, Demon.
Demon, what are you doing, man?
You won't take my spiritual journey. You won't take the Iron Boots. I can't believe this.
Also, the bonk I did there, we don't count that one because it's actually mandatory. If you don't get that bonk, your run is invalid. So, I mean...
Yeah, we don't accept this. A lot of our mods won't accept your runs anymore. You gotta take that bonk.
So this is Squidna, by the way.
Midna has a nice second form, which they don't really explain why it's a squid. This is the ancient power of her people, pretty much.
Yeah, this is the Fused Shadows unleashed, and it shows that well, Midna, because the barrier was put up by Zant, right? And it shows that Midna is way stronger than Zant because she can use what is lore-wise a weaker power. Ganondorf's magic is stronger than that of the Twilight, but Midna can still break the barrier anyway. So it shows how strong Midna is compared to Zant.
She can't fully beat someone like Ganondorf, but she can definitely challenge some of his spells and the barrier that he puts up.
So, like I said, I'm going to be trying a very precise trick. I have a setup for it. It's pretty cool and all that. I'm going to try to skip this first barrier. No, I'm going to try to skip this first barrier with a super precise long jump. I'm only going to try once. If I fail, I'll just move on and do the barrier normally. But I'll try. So I'm looking at... Okay, that's fine. Okay. As long as the Carbrooks don't come near me. Okay, this should be okay. Okay, that's really close, but I went first. We'll just do it normally.
When you said you're going for that, I was like, which one are you going for? I was like, because there's the new Moon Boot setup too that's come out.
Ah, come on. Are you really? What's this, man? Come on. Some of these Bokoblins just don't play along. Alright, there we go. Yeah, no, so you can skip that barrier with a pretty precise LGA. The setup I use for it is reasonably consistent, but it's still a really precise boomerang throw. So, you just have to kind of... Yeah. You can try, but it saves very minimal amounts of time. What we're doing here, by the way,
is
we're cancelling out of these barriers. We're just skipping the cutscene and just rolling backwards. They didn't really consider that people would skip the cutscenes, I guess.
I don't know, man. They were like, why we put so much effort in these cutscenes? Why did people ever skip them?
True.
I kind of feel bad. People put time into them, you know, and we just we mashed the start button.
All right, we're gonna fight King Goblin one last time. Went a bit early there. Can you spin, please? Okay, then I'll just.
Oh man.
There we go.
There we go. Interesting enough, this is kind of the turning point for King Bulblin. This is one of the few enemies in Zelda that genuinely has kind of a turning point. He kind of tells Link right now that he fights because Link's confused. Why does he give you the key? He says he fights for the winning side.
Yeah,
and that's him putting his faith in you.
Mm-hmm. He basically acknowledges that he thinks Link is stronger than Ganondorf at this point, and so he gives you the key because he doesn't want to be on the losing side. Backflip? Nope.
Nope. There's a backflip save warp right there. You can basically skip this text and then save warp over. It's only faster if you backflip. Or actually, no, for this route, it's...
It's fine. It's basically equal. If you're perfect on rolling, you can save like a couple frames, but I'm not perfect on rolling. And also, it's like 5 in the morning, so yeah. I'll just
Oh man,
I'll
it's
just
really
save
early
one.
for you
How about
guys.
that?
You're all good too?
It's
It's okay. It's starting to get close to midnight over my side, so
looking pretty good. Alright, so we're gonna skip one more barrier here. This one, jump attacking into it, cancelling the cutscene, and then we just roll out. Just like that. I should probably equip the claw shot. I need the bullet chain, that's true. Sure, yeah, let's just destroy that guy real quick.
that poor guy, man.
He
did
deserved
nothing,
it.
huh?
He deserved it. He knows
I mean,
he knows what he did.
I'm gonna believe that one. That's the one that sometimes can come up there and actually hit you off. Like,
Alright, roll off to the side.
come over to this room. There's gonna be a really interesting way that he's gonna handle Dark Knight.
So this Dark Knight. I'm gonna roll forwards twice. Roll stab. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Plank. 1, 2, 3. It's not what I wanted, but okay. That's fine. We can just do this again. 1. Can you please? No? Okay. Let me just do this. Dark Knights are very annoying.
Oh my goodness, he's
sometimes-
overpaid.
There we go. Alright. 1, 2, ball and chain. 1, 2, throw. And then you're just down. Just like that. So, I kind of messed it up, but it worked out. I'm going to stand up in a... that's not going to work. I'm going to have to aim. So I was trying to get in a position where I could have the boomerang at an angle that I could throw immediately, but I couldn't quite get it in time, so we'll just have to aim. And now we only have a few rooms left, so as a tradition, there is a good old lantern puzzle. Oh, because why not?
Yeah, I know, it's kind of crazy that
The
they put a
solution is
lantern
written
puzzle
down
all the way deep
somewhere in here, but I don't know where. I just know the solution.
Is it written in here or written in another room?
I think you need to like bring down one of the painting there, and then it shows you the solution.
Oh yeah, it's got the bow and arrow mark, so
need
that
the
you
bow and
put it with
arrow.
the bow and arrow.
Yep. So this room is also different when you have bombs, or this is what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to roll forwards 3 times and then walk sideways and just going to do slabs like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, spin. Just like that. Put it away the sword. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Swag do it during the cutscene.
Obviously.
Thank you for adding the finesse.
What a lad.
I had to make it look good. He was like, "I've got you, FX."
All right. So we now have kind of the gauntlet of X mini bosses. So we need to find an Aralphos now as well. Claw
Hey,
shot.
Alphos, what's up, man? There's a cool tech he's gonna do with the ball and chain that's gonna kill him very fast.
There we go.
Hit him on the way back. That is intentional getting hit there. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so we drag him down, and there's a little window. I think it's like 3 frames where you can draw out your ball and chain, and the Aralphos won't have time to react and start shielding, and so the ball and chain will just basically one-shot the guy. And now I already equipped the spinner because we need it one more time later on, and I just like equipping it there because there's nothing else going on. I'm just waiting for the barrier to go away. So, all right, and now we have a very dramatic cutscene where there's going to be like 5 enemies. I mean, we could never defeat that, so we need some help. And luckily, we have these people that we've never met who are going to help us out.
The D&D group, man, they're coming.
They're coming. They've caught our back.
They've done it. They've done nothing so far, but they're here.
Oh, I would have never been able to deal with the archers. Or the 4-less alphas.
We actually, to be fair, we don't have a bow. We actually have no way to deal with the archers.
I'll just throw the bullet chain
We
up.
genuinely
Watch me.
don't. And we have our exploding eagle over here.
Alright, so these are our friends, I guess.
As we like to say in the TP community, this is the D&D group. These are our little role players that come in to save the day. First time we've met them. I mean, we did meet one of them.
Yeah, Aru, but why does it have a cannon? I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to pick up the final big key, and then we'll move on to the boss fight.
Yeah, we're getting kind of towards the concluding side of the run. If there's any donations right now, by the way, feel free to read. We're kind of good for a little bit.
All right, I do have one from Big Al for $15, saying this run has been such an awesome run. TP is my favorite Zelda game and the one game I've never attempted to speedrun. FX makes it look so easy. Thank you to ESA and the runners for doing such an important cause. Yes, thank you indeed, and he has made it look incredibly easy. Always impressed.
Oh, this room.
Yeah,
Alright, we did it.
genuinely, FX, you've done a really good job. TP can be a bit notorious for its difficulty.
Yeah, it was.
And
throwing
FX
everything
has
at me.
done a good job showing off some of the hardest stuff and doing very well with it.
Bonk.
So congratulations. You just want to donate. Every bonk was FX wanted to donate.
Every bonk, $3. I'm a man of my word. Alright, these guys. I did this wrong, but that's okay. I can just do this again. There's a slightly faster way of doing that, but that works out as well.
Yeah, you've got Zach's trap there, but that's a bit of... You can pretty much take damage and clip through with the spinner. There's going to be a really cool barrier skip coming up here.
Yeah, you just close this, and you just skip the cutscene. There you go.
Don't skip that cutscene too fast.
If you skip it
clap.
immediately, you will actually get hit by the barrier, yeah. Which is why it's banned in glitchless, because you would clip through the barrier normally. But here we are at the final staircase. Let's equip the ball and chain, because I don't want to soft block.
we have...
or actually crash the game.
Yep. After B-scan, I'm going to remind you about Iron Boots, okay?
Sure, yeah. So this is a gauntlet of boss fights. We're gonna fight possessed Zelda first. So Ganondorf actually possesses Zelda's form, and we have to release her. And the way we're gonna do it is by counting to 7, hopefully. That's 1.
Interestingly enough,
we're gonna be counting to 8 at least.
Okay, that is a little brutal already to start with.
Zelda, come on.
That's some bad RNG. But interesting enough, that title card that comes up for the Phantom Ganon, if you open up the item menu at that same exact frame it does, you actually crash the game.
Alright, 2.
Is it? So the moves that we're looking for is that little cheese ball that we see Zelda throwing out there. After the first hit, you need a certain amount of attacks before it can actually happen again. For this one, you need at least 1 attack, and now it could happen again, but it's RNG if it's gonna. She's given us not good RNG, so that's gonna be 4. Look at her floating around.
So peaceful. I don't know why we need to do anything here, but alright.
This is that's 5. This is another reason why TP has a bit of a notorious history. The end of our run is kind of gated off by a bit of an RNG segment.
Cool. Yep, sure. Get stuck, why don't you? Yeah, we're just waiting. We need to have a third lightning orb, so we're just waiting for it. It's completely RNG.
Well, we're at 7 right now. This is gonna be 8.
All right, so we're looking at maybe 9.
And then if we get a 9, if it's a 9, it's not that bad. It's been a slow 9, but
this is a really slow 9. Yeah. But okay, fair enough.
Yeah. She had you waiting there for a little bit. There is a bit more RNG than people give it credit to. Every time, the time in between her attacks is also RNG. The attack she uses RNG, and the frames that it loses you is like the triangle loses you more time than the dash. Typically speaking.
Go for a side hop strat here. Nice.
Ooh, clean side hop. Here for B-Scanner, we're going to see FX going for a pretty precise thing where he's not going to end his combo until he's done exactly 8 hits. We're going to do that a second time, and that's going to prime up Ganon to delete RNG that used to be in the run, where we had the hope for him to spawn pretty quickly for portals. But if he's at 1 HP, he will always come out of his portal immediately, looking to hit you. Ooh, very perfect timing. I like that.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war.
Nice. All that's left now is he's gonna go around the room, and he's gonna look to chase straight after FX.
There you are.
Right there. We're gonna walk up, throw him over to the side, and since he's only got 1 HP left, all we gotta do is 1B attack.
Get him like that. There you go. It's funny, if you actually jump attack at him, he just gets back up and you have to do another cycle.
Yeah, I remember I did the jump attack once.
Yeah, everybody does
not
it
a fun
sometimes.
time. You're in the swing of things, and you're like, oh man, yeah, let me just jump over here, and you're like, oh.
Yep. So we have 2 more boss fights. 1 more horseback. Iron boots.
Don't forget about iron boots.
Iron boots. And so yeah, we need to. I should probably skip the cutscene, huh? What are we looking at in terms of time? We're doing alright.
We're doing good. Horseback is a bit of a quick segment. We've got a little bit of RNG manipulation that we're gonna do here. It's just kind of setting his paths. He's gonna go over to the left here, dodge these horses.
Oh, straight. That's super rare.
Yeah, that is actually kind of crazy.
That is like a less than 1 in 20. Okay, I don't know this pattern because it never happens.
I mean, you did the hardest swing on it first try, so you know, take it. Zelda doesn't aim these, you aim these. Your control stick actually aims where this is going. And boom, FX did a perfect horseback fight right there.
That pattern is insanely rare. I've never seen it. I've never had to practice it. And it just happens, of course.
Again, it can go, after you've dodged his soldiers there, he can go left, right, or kind of straight. And straight's just awkward. Right's kind of, left is the best RNG, isn't it? That's the nicest one. Right is hard, but not that bad once you get used to it. And that middle one's just kind of weird because you don't see it too often.
We're going to leave this text on screen because it's German. And in German, this is bugged, and you can just leave the text on screen. So he's just telling us that we are very good at fighting. And, well, how about that?
How about that, man?
How about that?
Ganon's kind of a charmer, you know?
He's being nice to us. Du kämpfst sehr gut.
Our final showdown with Ganon, and this, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is a pretty hard fight. So, FX is gonna do a jump spin attack behind him, then he's gonna do another jump spin attack behind him. He's not gonna forget the iron boots after this jump spin attack. He's gonna give us a free lantern with it.
Boom! Time.
And boom, time.
Lantern for extra effect. Just nice shading and everything, of course. Look at that. Nice teeth. Very good. So, that is the run. Twilight Princess is truly amazing. When I joined this community like a year ago, it was a pretty daunting speedrun to start playing, but everybody is super welcoming in this community, and nobody is like high and mighty. I even got some advice from Demon at some points when I was like really bad at this game still, and then Demon would still just give me like honest advice and everything. It's crazy because normally, at least in my experience, you don't really get that kind of community from like the really good runners. They kind of keep to themselves. But here, everybody's just tight knit and everybody just enjoys the game. They just want to play, and they want more people to play it as well. So if you've seen this run right now and you think, wow, this looks cool, but it seems really difficult, don't be afraid. Just join the TP Discord and ask all you want. Everybody is willing to help.
Specifically for me, it took me a while to fully learn the route, and I implore other runners to do this. You don't need to rush and learn everything immediately. You can take things slowly. It will take a while to be very good at executing this route fully, but you have tons of help. You have tons of resources. We have a practice tool that is unmatched by most communities. It's amazing. And we have an amazing community to thank for that.
Yeah. So, a couple quick shoutouts while we wait for the actual Iron Boots thing to happen. Well, my family is just super supportive of me picking up speedrunning as more like a full-time thing, and honestly, the community, like I just said, amazing. And I have a really good friend back at home as well who is asleep right now, but I know he's amazing as well. Just big shout out to Shoulder. Yeah, any shout outs for you, Keaton?
Shout out to the TP community. I got a couple members I want to give shout outs to. Shout outs to Zach, amazing member of the community, even though he's not around as much anymore. Shout outs to Fino and a lot of the dev people in the back. Taka, the rest of you guys who have made practice tools and helped do a lot of things.
Real quick, I got an interview right now because it turns out that Link does not skip leg day, guys. Watch this.
Oh yeah, man.
Look at that! Look at him go! Let's go!
Oh my god, dude, He's been faking it the whole game where he walks slow. He can just run.
Yeah, you just
Who knew?
freaking dash like that. What the hell? Right, you can go ahead with your shoutouts.
And I don't know, man. If you had a person like Minda in front of you, I feel like you'd run that fast with Iron Boost, dude. I feel like anyone would be running.
Yeah, I guess. Fine. Also, of course, shoutouts to ESA for letting me play this amazing game, right? Like, thanks so much. I know it's a really long run, but yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope it delivered. So, thanks again. And that's kind of it. So if you have any final things to say, Keaton, I'll...
It's a long and daunting run for both the runners and for any that takes us. So thank you guys again for giving us a shot, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
And with that, we'll send it over to our host.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for that awesome run, FX. And I also want to thank ESA for letting me come and hang out and read donations. This is going to be my last shift on the mic this week, but thank you very much. I want to thank all of the other screeners and readers. They all did a great job. After this break, I'm going to send you over to Water Arco, and he's going to take you through Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Final Mix XG, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.